This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. This meeting is an in-person meeting held at 870 Colfax here in Benton Harbor. In addition, a live stream of this meeting is available at the following link. Questions may be submitted beforehand to natalie.singer@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment section as indicated in the agenda. Board members may be contacted through the emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may be sent to natalie.singer@bhas.org. I call this meeting to order officially at 6:05 p.m. We'll begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next up we have roll call. I'm going to give our secretary a second to get to the table so that he can call roll for us.
President Robinson.
Present.
Vice President Bowens.
Present.
Secretary Triplett. Present. Treasurer Gavin.
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Present.
Trustee Doyle. Trustee Bradley.
Present.
Madam President, a quorum has been established.
All right, awesome. Up next, we have approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion has been made by trustee Rocket Martin and supported by trustee Bradley. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I think I may have missed the time to do this, but I would from looking at the agenda, one of the HR reports, staff report, I got the right one, for the hiring of the director of academic. I would like to have that tabled and removed off of the agenda. Am I in the wrong time for this?
This is the time. Well, you can make comments. So right now there's a motion on the table.
Yeah.
And your comment is that you would like to amend the agenda.
Yeah.
To table. So the person who made the motion, remind me, was it Rocket Martin? With the support by Bradley? Okay. Rocket Martin, being that you have an active motion on the floor to approve the agenda as it is, do you have any feedback to that request or any other trustees? Are you wanting to maintain your motion with approval of the agenda as is?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board? President Robinson? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we still do not have a closed session meeting. There's been an investigation that we're supposed to get an update on. That's on a grievance since January. And we still do not have a closed session so that we can discuss that, and nothing on this agenda is relevant until we're able to get clarity on that information. And so, submitting that we, in an ethical imperative, that we include a closed session so that we can get an update on that investigation.
Okay, so
session.
So there is, your request right now is not a request that I can enter into closed session with you for, because I do not have a written opinion or anything formal that allows me to go into a closed session at this time. So are you speaking to Triplett's request for tabling, or is this an additional request as it relates to the agenda?
This is an additional request. I find it hard that we don't have any information on something that happened so long ago. There should be some type of update, closed session. And if we don't have anything that we can discuss, then it might be time to take this to a higher level.
Okay, so I'm slightly confused by, and I understand what you're speaking of, but I gave the update that you asked me for, I gave you the update. So once there's finalized information concerning that, then you will be able to enter a closed session and speak with the person that is managing that. So at this time, I don't have a reason per policy to go into a closed session with the Board of Education.
The policy about non-employment of the superintendent.
That's not currently an agenda item on the table, trustee.
I'm requesting that we add that agenda item.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table that was made by trustee Raquel Martin and supported by trustee Bradley. Are you all wanting to amend your agenda
No,
motion as it stands?
motion as it stands.
So your motion maintains with approval of the agenda as it is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bradley, are you still maintaining support of that motion?
Maintain support of that.
Okay, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the votes?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, no. Treasurer Gavin,
No,
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, and then Secretary Triplett, I know you came in kind of quickly. I just want to make sure you notate that the senior's not present. So I want to make sure you're able to, we're not moving too quickly for you to be able to document the roll call sheet.
If you're moving too quickly, she will have an opportunity to listen to the meeting before.
Well, we had a meeting prior where something happened with the recording. So I just want to make sure
Thank
if
you,
I'm
sir.
moving too fast, let me know.
Yeah, thank you so very much.
All right, next up, we have review of our board norms. The Board of Education norms for Benton Harbor area schools. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration. Those are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intention. Next up, we have public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to make a comment on an agenda item? The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 areas for comment on the agenda of which you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete a public participation form using legible writing to ensure the responses are appropriate and properly focused. Per Benton Harbor Area Schools Bylaw 0167.3, which governs board participation at board meetings, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to a 3-minute duration and per our bylaws. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other persons have had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their mask when addressing the board. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement and not respond at this time. I, as president, will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure that your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have specific questions for the board or executive team or require follow-up, please email those directly to natalie.singer@bhas.org. You have the floor.
I'm Nakina Carter. I love you, Gavin. T, clock it. Last meeting, we had until June 1st to decide or to pull her for evaluation, her as in being the superintendent. Why wasn't that done? We come here today and she wanted to amend the agenda. It was okay for Triplett to amend the agenda or add something or take some away. But when Gavin say, can we add this and go into a closed session, it's a problem and it's a no. Another thing, so recently there was a prom at Fairplain Middle School. Mind you, my daughter been getting bullied since October of last year. There was a recent prom. I came to the board members, Deshauna. I came to her and I was telling her, Fair Plain Middle School was advertising this prom. Why was one of her bullies that's expelled allowed onto campus? So Deshauna was like, oh, it's not associated with this, even though the school email said it was affiliated with it. The school text messages was affiliated with it. And I emailed her, that concerning that problem with the prom, and that my daughter is still getting bullied to this day. The only thing she replied to was about the prom, stating we had no affiliation, which it deemed you guys had an affiliation with it. Well, Fair Plain Middle School had an affiliation with it. She didn't even say nothing about my concerns about my daughter being bullied still. It was just about the prom. Then I go to Kate, which the superintendent works at, and her assistant, Natalie Singer. I went to her, I emailed screenshot, still got the email of the bullying, and I wanted to speak with the superintendent. She's in the meeting, fine. Well, you let her know, you send these emails to her and let her know my daughter is still getting bullied over one of the students that was removed from the building and put into Cape. She's still getting bullied by this student. Haven't heard not a thing from nobody. And this been going on to where I've been getting neglected as a mother, as an advocate for my daughter. My daughter has been getting neglected as a student by not only her principal, the staff members in the school, but the board members as well. She's been getting neglected by, and it's still been happening. Like, how long is it going to take to where it's going to be so detrimental on her mental? Something is going to happen. Which as a parent, I'm not going to let that happen. But still, put her in somebody else's shoes. If her self-esteem was so low and she's getting bullied, something, because she could have took herself out and they didn't have a care in the world. And then you have Trenton, you have the superintendent, Griffin.
Please wrap up your comment.
I will.
I'm trying to be real.
They don't pay attention to the community and what they saying. They held their head down. They had solid conversations, but she just stated no side conversations in the board meeting. He think it's funny, whatever. We have Doyle. What's his name? Bradley. He come tell us one thing, but then get up on the board on a seat and do another. All for us on private conversations to get her out.
Please wrap up your comment.
And he's all buddy. He's agreeing to everything that she say. That's it. Y'all playing your cards the wrong way. Y'all not listening to the community. The community want her out. It's been plenty of times she has bullied class members and around her.
Your comment.
And y'all have did nothing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Anyone else for open public comment on agenda items?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shaniqua Davis once again. I'm a staff member here at Benton Harbor Area Schools. I'm not gonna keep getting up here hooping and hollering and yelling and telling y'all this. Y'all see it. Y'all on Facebook. Y'all here. Y'all just gotta stop ignoring it. I said it before. Y'all know what Dr. Griffin been doing. And y'all allowing it to happen, which is terrible. It's very terrible. And not only is she doing it to me, she's doing it to some of y'all peers. That's the even bad part. I could stand up for myself, but just imagine how many of y'all peers that y'all went to school with gotta stay silent while they watch their friends, former friends, family members. It's not say nothing. Disregard the issue. Because it's an issue. Because I done brought several issues to y'all. Several. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Together.
Anyone else for public comment on agenda items?
Hey everyone, my name is Chloe Summers. I am a fourth grader at Fair Plain East. I am here.
Oh, wait. Can I get y'all everybody's attention? Side conversations, it was a no-go when I was up here. Thank you. Triplet, can you sit up We ain't gonna start until Triplett stood up,
I can hear.
but we need to see your face. Thank you. We waiting.
So if we could just proceed.
No, I.
He's just adjusting his badge.
She wants that
We're
attention.
listening.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Chloe Summers. I am a fourth grader at Fairpoint East. I am here to speak about Mr. Moore and him being fired, how all the kids feel about him, and I want to say he's a good man. And you're going to sit up there and fire him. What you need to do, you need to get fired because all the
I go. Let her say what she wanted to say.
because all this stuff you're doing, you need to stop. A lot of trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment on agenda items?
Sifu Mungu, Mwenyezi Mungu ni Mungu mmoja, atatupigania. Praise God. Almighty God is one God, and he will fight for us. My name is Deanna Chopin. I am the Swahili teacher here at the Benton Harbor High School. 3 years ago, the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board voted to incorporate the world language Swahili into the school's curriculum. I want to officially thank the board as that decision has placed Benton Harbor High School students at a major advantage over other high school students in the county and probably the state on at least 4 levels: academic, economic, business, social, and international. Why? Because Swahili is the universal African language. It is that Pan-African language. It is the lingua franca of the diaspora. It is recognized by the United Nations and is one of the working languages of the African Union. Did you know that the children's building block game Jenga is a Swahili word? Did you know that the word Kia, the name of that car that some people drive, is a Swahili word? Did you know that one American ambassador to Kenya prophesied that between the years 2030 and 2050, that 25% of the world's population will be relocating to a Swahili-speaking nation? Since that is the case, y'all might need Swahili lessons. To celebrate Swahili and its success at the Benton Harbor High School, as your official Swahili instructor, I'm inviting each board member to receive free Swahili classes. I will email you about the details. I have your Swahili names already picked out for each of you. And for your information, the certification process is successfully moving forward. I want to thank Drs. Santos Gooden and Dr. Griffin for making this happen. And as we say in Swahili, sifu Mungu na asanteni sana. Praise God and thank you all very much. Hallelujah.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment on agenda items? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed. Up next, we have approval of our meeting minutes. Today, we are approving regular session 5/12/2026 and special session 5/22/2026. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Support.
The motion was made by trustee Bradley and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the minutes at this time? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
I believe I would need to abstain. I think 5/22 may have been the No, wait. All right. No, yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Wait a minute, 1 second.
Yes, I'm confused. Did you just abstain and vote yes or?
My apologies. May 22nd was. I was present then, right?
No, that was a Friday meeting.
That was that Friday meeting.
Are there? And that was
a quorum was not established, so it wasn't a meeting.
My apologies. Let me get, oh, okay. Okay, I can vote yes. I'm sorry, Secretary Triplett, because I know that I wasn't present. This is just documentation that there wasn't a quorum present.
Vice President Bowens,
yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, reminder protocol as of 9/13/2022. All comments will be limited to 2 minutes per trustee per topic. Our first item of business today is a MASB Spring Institute update provided by Trustee Bradley. You have the floor.
Good evening, my esteemed colleagues. We had a 2026 Spring Institute. Myself and Trustee Rocket Martin attended, and she may want to speak on some things. I don't know if she had anything prepared for tonight. I attended 4 classes. I did CBA 365, Collaborative Conversations for Effective Decision Making, CBA 252, Media Relations, CBA 315, Anatomy of an Audit. Me and Trustee Rocket Martin took that class together, and CBA 370, Managing a Construction Project. This took place at the MASB headquarters in Lansing at the beginning of May. Some key takeaways I'll go through real quick. For media relations, the things that was just being said, social media being the Wild West, with some discussions around it, our power, land, and our policies, discussing and establishing the spokesperson policy and making it a board norm, finding comfort in the silence, and reviewing interview techniques, anatomy of an audit. We went through an audit in real time, and what I did was I used our last few audits, and we went through and they kind of broke down the different parts of it, discussed the reasons behind having an audit. The finance office doing many audits each quarter and discuss how some school districts create a policy around the fund balance. 365 CBA, Collaborative Conversations for Effective Decision Making. That was led by Deb Macon. And of course, she's said her inspiration for some of the class came from my board, so we should give ourselves a round of applause because MASB is watching some of the things we do. And we discussed the 7 norms of collaboration, how board needs boundaries. We discussed norms and how it helps us handle business. During after meeting surveys for board members to gauge how the meeting went, discussing physiological safety and how do we make the table feel safe. And the one thing I'm going to be handing some of the members tonight a handout. There was a book that she had brought up, and it's called Improving School Board Effectiveness. And there's a couple of areas in there that I want everybody to kind of read, especially pages 92 and 93, and some characteristics in there. And I'm going to hand that out to you all. The next thing, and I think that should be also one of our retreat topics too. We should do a couple, maybe spend some time on that. Last class I did was CBA 370, Managing a Construction Project. And I know right now we're trying to do our master facility plan. They say even if you're not going after the bond to see where you are and where you stand, school districts matter. It boosts community value. Don't build for Easter Sunday, meaning don't overdo it. Making sure that principals and teachers are included in the building process because they know the day in and day out of the buildings and what needs to go where. Working with contracts and discussing change orders and how they can help the district save money, and the 3 questions around change orders. I want to bring to your attention the upcoming MASB events, and I did link them in this document as well.
The Summer Institute is going to be in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The annual leadership conference is going to be in October, from October 15th through the 18th in Lansing. And MASD does offer virtual classes. So if you have a busy schedule, you can go in, take the classes and everything. Trustee Rocket Mark, did you want to add anything or do you have anything to say at this moment?
No.
Are there any questions for me? Hearing none, I will return it back to you, Madam President.
All right, and I just want to remind the board, our fan is a little bit loud, so we want to make sure we get a good recording for the minutes. So if you all could speak directly into your mics, that would be greatly appreciated. That's for everyone in attendance. Okay, up next, item B under board business is superintendent contract amendment, staff report B1. So you all have a draft of the first amendment to the superintendent contract. And so it's essentially, the board and superintendent agreed to the following revision of the last sentence of paragraph 12 of the superintendent's contract. Superintendent's performance shall be evaluated by the board at least annually. So the staff report presented, and this will give us essentially through the end of this month to finalize the contract for the school year. Resolution to approve first amendment to the superintendent contract. This is staff report B1. Benton Harbor Area Schools, Berrien County, Michigan, the district, a special meeting of the Board of Education of the district. The board was held in the Benton Harbor High School Library within the borders of the district on the 9th day of June 2026 at 6:00 p.m. The meeting was called to order. Essentially, we'll fill that in. The following preamble and resolution were offered by and supported by, whereas the Board of Education, Dr. Simone Griffin, entered into a superintendent contract effective July 28, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. The contract, and 2, the board and Dr. Griffin desired to amend paragraph 12 of the contract relating to the timing and presentation of the superintendent's annual performance evaluation. And 3, the proposed first amendment to the superintendent contract removes the requirement that the superintendent's annual evaluation be presented in writing no later than June 1st in any given contract year. And the board and Dr. Griffin have agreed that all other terms and conditions of the superintendent contract shall remain unchanged and in full force and effect. And 5, the board has reviewed the proposed first amendment to the superintendent contract and determined that approval of the amendment is in the best interest of the district. Now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby approves the first amendment to the superintendent contract between Benton Harbor Area Schools and Dr. Simone Griffin as presented. The president and the secretary of the board are authorized and directed to execute the first amendment on behalf of the Board of Education. So at this time, I'll ask if there are motion to approve staff report B1.
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
I support.
Okay, I heard Bradley first. The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Bradley. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Can you elaborate on what this is about?
So essentially, the original contract that we had indicated that the evaluation needed to take place by June 1st. We're all aware that we need to have the evaluation done within the school year, which goes through the 30th. But in order to make sure that we are not out of bounds as a superintendent and Board of Education with the June 1st requirement, we're essentially just making an amendment to the contract that extends our time frame. So it's been adjusted by council to annually, and that will allow us in the next motion to set the date for our evaluation. Or in the next item of business on the agenda to set our date prior to June 30th, 2026.
For the evaluation
For the evaluation, yes, sir.
of the superintendent. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I believe Doyle had a question that was clarified. You have the floor.
So, no,
And your mic, please.
sorry, time is flying. So we are doing a superintendent evaluation. And thank you for working with legal to make sure that we are doing this.
Gavin can't hear you. In the mic, please.
I'm talking as much as I can.
I'm sorry. The thing, I'm sure it's extra loud for her. Maybe if you
Can't
move
do it
it.
anymore.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, thank you for working with legal counsel and to Dr. Griffin to allow us to amend the contract so we can do the evaluation. Thank you.
Okay, and I just realized there was a back page. I'm not sure if I read it. The First Amendment shall be attached to and incorporated in the superintendent contract effective July 28, 2025. All resolution and parts of this resolution insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution are hereby rescinded. So the motion was made by Triplett and supported by Bradley. Any other questions? You have the floor.
Number 3 says the proposed First Amendment to the superintendent contract removes the requirement that the superintendent's annual evaluation be presented in writing no later than June 1 in any given contract year. I'm wondering why it doesn't instead say the proposed First Amendment to the superintendent contract removes the requires that the superintendent annual evaluation be presented in writing no later than June 30th.
So this was the draft so this is the amendment that was sent over by council. And so the resolution has been made according to that amendment.
Because this says it removes the requirement as opposed to giving it a different deadline date.
Right, so the understanding of the legality is that the deadline is June 30th. He just indicated it annually because a school year goes from the beginning of, July 1 all the way through June 30th, 2026.
All right, so I have an issue with this wording because it removes the requirement for the evaluation. It doesn't give June 30th as the deadline. I have an issue with not addressing the investigation prior to even having this conversation. But since we're here, the wording does not protect this board. It does not protect this district in requiring an evaluation. It removes the requirement for an evaluation.
So I think you're concentrating on the resolution. The contract clearly states the superintendent's performance shall be evaluated by the board at least annually. And I sent the amendment out to the Board of Education prior to this meeting. It would have been my hope and desire that if there were any concerns regarding the contract, the amendment language as it was, that you all would have communicated that to me prior so that I could have had that amendment made prior to coming to the table.
I communicated my concern about this evaluation several times. But what I'm requesting is that we consider making an amendment to this wording because it removes the requirement from the annual evaluation. Now, if that's in her contract, then the resolution should mimic that contract.
So your concern is not the contract, it's the resolution. You want to adjust the resolution.
My concern is that we're here, but since we're here, I would like it to match. Because if this doesn't match, what it says is that it removes the requirement that the superintendent's annual evaluation be presented in writing.
Okay, so clarify for me what you think is better for the resolution to state. You wanted to say superintendent performance shall be evaluated by the board at least annually as reflected in the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. I have no objections to that. So 3 would read, the proposed First Amendment to the superintendent contract removes the requirement that the superintendent's annual evaluation be presented in writing no later than June 1st in any given contract year, and requires that the superintendent performance shall be evaluated by the board at least annually so that it matches the amendment.
That's better.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the motion, hold on, Secretary Triplett, the motion on the floor was made by Triplett and supported by Bradley. Would you have any contest to that, just adding the language? Superintendent's performance shall be evaluated by the board at least annually to number 3?
It's
just the resolution.
Yeah, I just want it to be clear that the superintendent will be evaluated in Benton Harbor Area School.
Mhm.
So that's a non-negotiable. The reason for this is to say specifically, are we going to say specifically, when you say annually, because the superintendent was hired in July. So she has not had a complete year here. She was hired on July the 28th. And so the way it was previously in the contract that they would go, that we would have to have it done by June the 3rd. With this amendment, that gives us an opportunity. The window is open. Do we specifically need to say June the 30th? Or does that just leave it open and by the end of the school year? Because I don't want people to think that what we're voting on tonight is saying that the superintendent will not be, that's our number one responsibility.
Correct. So this essentially is giving us that contract school year versus the June 1st deadline.
Right.
You all will see that the next item of business on the agenda is us setting and confirming a date for the evaluation. So correct.
I have no problem with the language in order for my colleague to feel comfortable
Okay.
with
So
this resolution.
what I've adjusted it to, just to make sure everyone's clear, in the resolution, item 3, the proposed first amendment to the superintendent contract removes the requirement that the superintendent's annual evaluation be presented in writing no later than June 1st in any contract year, and requires that the superintendent shall be evaluated by the board at least annually. Any other comments from anyone who hasn't already made a comment?
I'm voting no anyway.
Bradley, do you support that amendment as it with the adjustment?
That's fine.
Okay. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
No.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. So next up is the,
Trustee Doyle, if you're not.
No.
Trustee Doyle.
No.
Okay, I didn't see you come in.
I didn't realize she left.
I didn't see her here.
Oh, you mean you didn't know she was present?
I didn't. She
Okay.
wasn't when I took the role.
I walked in at 6:30.
Well, you're here now. I'm sorry if I didn't mean to miss you.
No worries. Okay, can you notate on your call, your sheet that she arrived at 6:30 for me as well? Okay, so we're gonna proceed with the evaluation date. I'm wondering, I know that we currently have a meeting scheduled, if I'm not mistaken, for the 23rd, which is the next work session meeting. However, Dr. Griffin has indicated that she'll be present that day, but she leaves the 24th for an anticipated vacation. I will be out that full week. So I'm wondering if my recommendation would be that we attempt the 29th, which is the day prior to that 30th deadline. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing the 30th because I don't want us to have any mishaps on the actual day. But that would give her the time to get her evidence together, get it submitted to the board, everyone an opportunity to review it. And then we could do that Monday, the 29th, if that works for individuals at 6 o'clock.
It's
We'll go to Secretary Triplett and then Gavin.
it's important that the training necessary to have been taken place by the superintendent is completed. It's imperative that the artifacts are pulled together and presented to us prior to us coming into the actual evaluation. So those things need to be set in stone. When those, if she can submit them before leaving, but we need those a week, we need those within the next week or so we can review them before we go into the room for the evaluation, because I do not want to be reviewing artifacts in the midst of the evaluation without having had an opportunity to previously see them.
Thank you. Trustee Gavin, Treasurer Gavin, my apologies.
No worries. So the 23rd is, is that our budget hearing?
I think that I'll allow Brock Carter to clarify that. Is that the day you have anticipated? That's a detail I'm not.
Yes. Okay, so the 23rd is our budget hearing. And you're proposing that we have the evaluation on the 29th.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have to go back to our closed session. What date will we be able to review the information from my whole closed session that is related to this 20?
So my goal, I anticipate that they'll have, that will have been done prior to that. That also gives us that extended window of time.
Are we looking at receiving that data by the 23rd? Or you said?
I would hope so. Yeah. I won't be here, but you all, regardless of whether I'll be here, you all will proceed with the meeting. So I'll be in Houston the 22nd through the 25th. I have no problem with getting with finance and Dr. Griffin to kind of go over the details of the budget hearing and ask any questions that I have. I don't want that to delay the business of the board because I'm absent.
And we will be able to review the closed session,
correct,
information by then. Okay.
So is 29th works. Is it an issue for anyone at the table? The 29th at 6 o'clock?
Trustee Bradley,
I'm sorry.
will you be able to be here?
I could try to work on my schedule because I have a doctor's appointment on the 19th and, but I can work on my schedule to see if I can finagle that.
The evaluation is important that
Yeah,
all of us need to be in that evaluation.
I could probably make that work. I'll talk to my people.
Gavin?
I also requested 2 data points. One was the dates in which everyone received their evaluation training. And then 2, if the facilitator can provide us with some information on reaching a consensus. So I was not satisfied with how they did consensus last time. So I would like, if possible, if MASB, or is that something I should gather on my own, or is that something that?
No, that's something that.
I'm looking it up now for you.
So as it relates to the dates of everyone's training, I do have that. The way that it was sent over to me, I was going to try to put it in a table for you all, but I can notate it for the record now. Should be able to get it pulled up. Okay, so President Robinson was trained March 4th, 2025. Bowens, March 4th, 2025. Gavin, Triplet, and Rockette were trained July 17th, 2024. Doyle also July 17th, 2024. And Bradley, March 4th, 2025. Dr. Griffin was trained on the 13th of May of this year. As it relates to the consensus piece, I did speak with who my preference was, which was Mark. However, he's going to be in Chicago the end of the month, but Ms. Singer has connected us with another facilitator. And so my goal was to get that information from that person so that we can go ahead and get scheduled. I just wanted to get the board's availability so that we can get confirmed with the facilitator that can come. And then we can get that clarification. I also plan to ensure that Dr. Griffin, even though she just had the training and it's most fresh for her, would like for her to, her or any other individuals that might have questions to see if we can get one-on-ones or two-on-twos or three-on-threes, however it looks like, as long as it's not a majority of the board, if there's availability for the facilitator to touch base with us, because even though some of us were trained in 2025 and some of us in 2024, we've actually never done an evaluation using this particular tool. So if anyone has any questions about the process, I would like to open the window up for everyone to be refreshed. That's been quite some time. Secretary Triplett.
Also, prior to the evaluation, the instrument is sent to the board so that they can do their pre-assessment with the calculations and everything of what it is that we're putting, how we're scoring. So can you please find out and let us know how soon that will be sent to us?
Yes,
so that we
ma'am.
can work
Yes,
on
sir.
it, we can work on it before coming into the actual evaluation.
Absolutely. So once I can get a confirmed which facilitator we'll be with, I'll circle back to reconnect with everyone and see if you are in need of to be in one of those refresher sessions or just a question and answer session. We have the tools. We've had the training. With the amount of time that's passed and us never doing it under that new tool, I just want to ensure that everyone has their questions answered as needed before we get started. Bradley.
Yes, please sign me up for a refresher.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
One quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the deadline for Dr. Griffin's artifacts to be submitted to the board?
It's standard a week prior, a good week before, so that we can see it and go over it. And then it gives us an opportunity to do a self-evaluation as well. I will double check that so that we're clear. She and I have already talked about her anticipated vacation and ensuring that we have artifacts prior to her leaving. So we'll ensure that she with the time that we're setting, she's had her training. She'll have opportunity after her training to process, get her artifacts together. They'll also give her an opportunity to give that to us and us to review it and be able to have an equitable evaluation.
Thank you.
All right, so as it stands, the evaluation will be June 29th, 2026 at 6 o'clock. We'll proceed with the agenda. I thank you all for working through that conversation. We're going to proceed. Superintendent items, partnership agreement update, Dr. Griffin.
Thank you, Madam President. I am excited to say that I have done my portion for working with Lisa Patterson out of there in RISA to put in all the goals and all the applicable areas of the MyKIP platform. There is one kink that is not on my end, it's on Darian Reese's end for me to be able to submit, because I did double check for Jim's Mars to submit the agreement, but thank you to all of the board members that submitted input. But my portion, after hours and days for getting the information into the platform, I have completed my portion as superintendent, just waiting on clearance with Jim's Mars for submitting it over into their platform. There are two platforms. The first platform, all areas have been submitted according to the desires of the board regarding the partnership agreement that was agreed upon. There's one more step, but I don't have access yet. They've been waiting on that. And then it's just submitting into that second platform, Jim's Mars. So I have sent information to Lisa Patterson to work on ensuring, because I clicked on the links accordingly. It's just a technical issue. But other than that, that portion has been completed.
Okay, and I just want to also, because I'm not sure if we said this on the record, we've had the previous conversations about the status of the partnership agreement document. I had someone reach out and ask me, had it been signed maybe in the last 2 weeks or so, someone from press. So I just want to make sure it's clear on the record that the partnership agreement document has been signed by all parties, and the board was informed of that as well, or sent that finalized copy. So just want to make sure that that's clear. And then we will, as we've discussed before, get quarterly updates on the status of the partnership agreement. So I look forward to receiving that as well. Okay, so if there's no questions from the board, we'll proceed with the Peace Day 2026 success. Are you presenting that, Dr. Griffin?
I have already created a brief document that is attached to the agenda. Just wanted to shout out all of the participants that led that effort. They are all articulated there to Principal Keith Sanders, Ms. Goodson, and Treasurer Gavin for a huge endeavor that anytime we seek to have peace for our children, keeping them safe in our community is something that should always be honored and affirmed. And so, Superintendent, I wanted to make sure that there was a document that confirmed my support of the event and excitement for its success.
All right, any other comments or questions from the board regarding that update? Treasurer Gavin?
I want to thank you, Dr. Griffin, for acknowledging Peace Day. It is my hope that moving forward, with this being something that was unanimously voted on through the city as a day of observance, that we can get to the point in which all of our schools can coordinate coming together for such an event. This can be a holiday in which we are setting the tone for the summer, for the rest of the school year. We are encouraging our students. And so it's my hope that transportation will somehow support efforts to get all our kids here. It has been done in the past, and I think it's something that can be done. Again, was really grateful to see Fairplain Middle, even Benton Harbor Charter came over. So it just makes sense that all of us are present in that space. And I also want to thank Trustee Doyle, who has been very instrumental in this work, and everyone, all of the students, the staff, Benton Harbor High School, Fairplain Middle, everyone, Peace for Life Leadership Academy, who has helped to make this possible. Thank you.
All right, any other comments?
Madam President, I was unable to attend this year, but I am so happy and grateful that the event took place. I think it is absolutely amazing and beautiful, so refreshing. If you ever had an opportunity to attend one, the opening and the beginning of the celebration is very, 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 it's just beautiful. And so with all the things that are happening, and not only just in our community, but just happening with our young people and the adults in the city, you know, peace has to be at the forefront. Peace needs to be a part of the conversation. And so I want to thank Treasurer Gavin and Trustee Doyle for the leadership role that they take in this great initiative. And also would like to thank Dr. Griffin and this Board of Education for supporting it as a collective and contributing the way in which I think we should contribute as a Board of Education. Thank you.
All right, Raquel Martin.
I'd like to also thank you for Peace Day. I had a student, one of the students that works with me, high school student, works with the YMCA. She attended Peace Day and she came back with a positive, very positive attitude and comments about how nice it was for the high school kids and the people that participated. So I'm happy to see that it is affecting our young people. And it will make a difference in the long run.
Any other comments from the board? I would like to say that I was super excited with the turnout of Peace Day. I think it's always an amazing venture for our district to take, and I support and appreciate everyone who was involved. I was unable to attend, but I do support you all in spirit, fully, nonetheless. But it looked completely awesome and amazing and powerful from the photos. So if there's no other comments from the board at this time, we'll move on to the summer community engagement update.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to say that I'll be partnering with my cabinet as we do a year in review, year one in reviews, looking at our community recap, just focusing in on both in-person and online opportunities to reflect on our progress, highlight initiatives such as expanded classroom resources and supports, and then clearly communicate our priorities for year two. I'm excited about the work that has been done thus far, but really want to get out into the community this summer to share our vision going forward around community support and of course, high quality instruction in college and career readiness. So I'm grateful for the partnership of our families, our staff and community leaders. And I look forward to using this summer to listen, build relationships and keep Benton Harbor area school students at the heart of our community.
All right, thank you. We're gonna proceed with the next item of business, teaching and learning, the 2026-2027 district calendar approval. So I know Dr. Griffin, I asked if there was an alternative, copy. Is it linked? It's linked. Okay.
While you looking it up, Madam President, I want to ask, is there a moratorium on the use of paper for our booklet? Because I am just literally, I do want to apologize to you, to y'all too, because I'm frustrated, because I'm having to go, this is too much. I can't, and I am professionally offended of this stuff that's in my notebook. I don't know where I'm just lost. I'm just all over the place. So I'm going to step out and let you all work through this one, because we got a lot to work to. I just need to step out.
Dr. Griffin, I'm, this copy here, is this updated?
So we have my apologies because I know you and I spoke about this.
Yeah, I can't. Point of clarity, I cannot hear.
I'm so sorry. Can we maybe try, unplugging that fan? If we get too hot, we can reconnect it, but for the sake of being able to communicate effectively from one end of the table to the other, I think we need to fill it for a hot second even.
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
I do recall the communication and I'm sure it's just a small oversight, but I recall Ms. Singer did address this. So I apologize that that's the one that made it to the binder, but know that a corrected copy, hard copy was available and I'll make sure that every board member gets that copy.
Okay, so would you happen to have the copy so that we can more clearly know what it is that?
Yes, hopefully I can double check the email from the
Okay.
communication thread. Unfortunately, in her absence, I would need to confer with her, but I can double check in the email.
President Robinson,
Yes, ma'am.
there was a linked copy, and that's what I'm trying to understand. There was a linked copy in the agenda. So is it now unlinked?
I think the linked copy was the same black and white copy that we have. That's what was initially there when I looked at it. It was this copy. And so I communicated that we needed, because looking at this, I take this to be what was initially drafted, and then these are maybe slight adjustments that are made and signed and authorized by the union is how I receive it. So I did request like the updated draft be linked so that we can easily understand it, but I don't think the updated draft is what was linked, it's just this copy here. I don't know how, go ahead, Gavin.
I'm also not seeing Peace Day on the calendar. I'm just trying to understand why do we, am I missing something?
You have the floor to clarify.
Treasurer Gavin, it absolutely is on the calendar for next year. Let me see what I can do to get us that fresh copy and Ms. Dorsey, if you happen to have it in your email, that would be great because we definitely have a fresh copy. I remember she addressed it in our correspondence that we had online. So let me just see what I can find.
Okay.
Because she's not here.
So if it's not an issue for the board, I would suggest that we take maybe a brief recess.
Yeah.
Because I'm normally pretty good at clarifying and working us through something, but I don't wanna state anything wrong and we not knowingly know what we're approving. So we'll take a brief recess. It's 7:03. I would say if we can return by 7:15, would that be, you think that's sufficient time for you? 7:15? Okay, so yeah, let's go 7:15, anticipate a return from recess. Uh-huh. All right, we're returning from recess as of 7:23 PM. All right, so the Board of Education has received the updated copy of the 2026-2027 calendar. Dr. Griffin, can you just please give us a brief overview? Taking a look at it, I'm able to navigate and understand the color coding, but I just kind of want you to walk through it so the board is aware of the aspects of the draft.
Okay, I know that I want to first give thanks to the team that worked on this process, Ms. Dorsey, our union president and vice president, Ms. Terrell and Ms. Wilson, as well as Mr. Hoffman, and many other people that got together to ensure that the amount of days were accurate. So when looking at this year's calendar, most of the days are set by the state, but we start this year a little bit different in making sure that we have added a week of professional development for our staff. So as you can see, in August, our union president and vice president did a fantastic job of collaborating with us to add some additional days. The DPPD district provided professional development, and then building PD giving us an opportunity to get some of the needed professional development activities set at the beginning of the year, and then get some job embedded professional development throughout the year. And then as you can see for those colors, those are the highlights for in pink. You have your Good Friday, your holidays, national holidays, Good Friday, spring break, no school for what's that? It's not Labor Day. Labor Day, those days, and then of course the important days as well. File count day is there. So we have our SY 27 days, the marking period days are in green, as you can see. Our first one is October 30th, and then goes up to, there should be another one. Oh, I see it in March. So the days in terms of what needs to happen regarding our national holidays, Thanksgiving break and winter break. As you can see, it looks like a teal color, not teal, I would say orange. Those colors, and then of course, our district provided professional days are in green with MLK Day, you see in January. I think what's really critical is that we had to adhere to some state guidelines, but then we were able to add in professional development days to really drive in for teaching, learning, and assessment for our staff.
Okay, so I will allow you to read the staff report if you're presenting it, and then I will open up the floor to the board for questions and comments.
Subject 2026-2027 Benton Harbor Area Schools District School Calendar Approval. Date June 9, 2026. Reason for board consideration, seeking board approval for the 2026-2027 Benton Harbor Area Schools District School Calendar. The presented district school calendar has been developed by a committee including central office administration, building administration, instructional staff, and support staff. The calendar meets the state requirements for 180 days of the instructional time and 1,098 instructional hours. It provides professional learning opportunities and collaboration for staff, and at least 5 district-wide professional development days throughout the calendar year. Additionally, opportunities for parents and teachers to connect and collaborate have been established with 2 asynchronous days for parent-teacher conference days. Policy reference 8210, school calendar, strategic plan reference communication. Benton Harbor area schools will engage and inform all stakeholders to maximize district support. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the 2026 to 2027 Benton Harbor Area Schools District School Calendar as presented.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report T1? President Robinson, you have the floor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve staff report T1 with the addition of Peace Day on the last day of school to be added to the calendar.
Okay, and for the record, can you state the last day of school?
Last day here.
Ms. Dorsey, can you clarify? I don't want to say graduation.
It looks like it's the 9th.
It can't be the 9th if graduation is the 4th. Is it the 2nd?
It is the 9th of June.
Graduation is before the last day of school?
It is.
Graduation was not before the last day of school this year. That Friday. So you're saying graduation is on the 4th of June and the last day of school is on the 9th of June?
That is correct.
It's never been that way before. No, it wasn't.
So I have a question to ask.
Okay, I would ask that let me pass you the mic. Go ahead, trustee,
I'm getting mixed information from my colleagues. My understanding is that the last day of school this year was Wednesday, and then graduation was Friday.
That's correct.
But some are saying that we've had graduation prior to the last day of school. That's never happened. The seniors have had their last day of school and then, yeah, we've never done this before. I just want to get the rationale for having graduation and then still continuing school.
That's common. That's common.
You have a floor, Secretary Triplett.
That's common. It depends on when they're putting together the calendar, how they come to the agreement. It's not like, has not happened before where they have graduation because the goal is to get the amount of days in. So students have returned, the underclassmen have returned back to school. I see it all the time. I don't want to just keep bringing up what I've experienced, at my job. They have graduation on like a Thursday night and we didn't get out of school until the next week. They're able to do their exams and whatever, they were still working. So it has not been that graduation has been the last day of school, but I do have a question.
So there was a motion on the floor. So and I was just allowing you to give the feedback to the question that she asked.
Yeah, but I was going to give some feedback.
I know, but I don't want us to get tangled up and forget she has a motion on the floor.
So the last day of school is the 9th.
Yeah.
The last day of school is Wednesday, the 9th.
Okay. So yes, I'm making a motion for staff report T1 with the amendment of Peace Day being added to the last day of school.
So you just want to notate the June 9th?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second or support to that?
Support.
Okay, so the motion was made by Gavin and supported by Doyle. To approve the calendar with an amendment of Peace Day being June 9th. Secretary Triplett, you can maintain the floor for your question.
Yeah, I was thinking, with Peace Day, with the last day of school being a half a day. So if Peace Day is on the last day of school, then do that give the students to participate? Well, how would you get all of the kids to be able to be here? So could it be on a day that it's a full day?
And how was it this year? Was it the last day of school?
Yes, it's always the last day of school.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
But is it always a half a day?
I believe the teachers have this. I think the teachers want it to be a half a day. So that makes it challenging in terms of festivities.
Yeah.
But
or either.
I mean, we've done. You can do a season of peace. You can have multiple events leading up to Peace Day.
And it was a half day this time, right? I think Wednesday was a half, and you were able to make it work. Okay.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Challenging.
Yeah, that was my thing, and so not saying that it's not doable, but that would take some coordination with transportation. We've had events at the school where everybody was here, and then the buses picked all of the students up at the school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know one of the things afterwards is a celebration where they get to eat and play games and different things like that. So I was just saying, that was my thought. Take it into consideration and make those necessary adjustments because they kind of missed out this year on doing that. And that's one of the most fun parts of the event.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think so.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments from the board, Bowens?
Thank you, Madam President. So I notice on school, the start date is August 31st. Then they come back. They leave the 4th and 7th, they're off. I'm just interested in the rationale of that.
So they have school the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd, and then they get the 4th and the 7th off for the holiday.
Yeah.
Yes, so I get that, and that's what I said, but I guess I'm a proponent of starting school in August, giving them the 2 weeks to get adjusted, then the vacation. But most kids, have we looked at the numbers for the 7th or the 6th? The past 3 years, when do we get most of our students coming to the district? Am I making sense on what I'm saying? It's a holiday, it's always a delay. I'm like looking at you, talking here. So
No, you are making sense. I understand what you are saying. If I'm incorrect, Dr. Griffin, you can let me know. I know that you indicated that you all wanted to make sure you had a full week of professional development prior to school starting. I would anticipate that impacted the schedule as well. And I know our teachers union, as well as district leadership agreed to the calendar, but I'll offer, if anybody wants to give insight that worked on the calendar to, Vice President Bowen's question, I'll open the floor for that.
and before they answer that, did we do a waiver to start before, or I don't know, I see something on TV about being Risa trying to get waivers, so that's included on top of that question, sorry.
You have the floor, Dr. Griffin.
I'm gonna yield to Ms. Dorsey to provide some clarity around that.
Thank you. The start of school being the 31st is the same as it was last year. And the thinking around not starting after Labor Day is that mid-June is a long time to be in school. That break from January to June is very long. So most people want to be out in those first 2 weeks. If we start later, we get out later. It will put us out on the 16th of June. So we talk about summer school, professional development, and getting ready for the next year. It doesn't leave much time when you're in mid-June. As far as the waiver, schools can start before Labor Day. I'll check to make sure that Berry has waived for our entire county. I'll verify that for you, but they can start before Labor Day. I'm sorry, your last question was about being off on the 4th and the 7th. So if you remember, like 100 years ago, Jennifer Granholm made Family Friday. And that was the Friday before Labor Day to give tourism in UP a chance to be successful. So we don't have school on the 4th, and then Labor Day, of course, we don't have school. So that's why those 2 days are off.
All right, go ahead.
So we don't get penalized if our numbers are low.
That's a loaded question, but it depends on the district's numbers as a whole.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett. Can you please call the roll? The motion was made by Gavin and Doyle to approve the calendar with the amendment of adding Peace Day to the last day of school, which is reflected as June 9th, 2026. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion unanimously passed. I haven't heard a unanimous vote in some time. I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you, and I also want to thank the board for your patience as we got a copy that we could all read tangibly, so we can be sure what it is that we are approving. We'll move forward with business and finance. I was able during the break to clarify with Director Rock Carter that you all did review the April monthly financials in the previous meeting. So she is going to present staff report F1.
Thank you, President Robinson. Excuse me, my computer is spinning. I had to use Ms. Dorsey's. For the monthly financial reports, reason for board consideration, a set of financial reports is provided to the Board of Education each month. Facts and analysis. This evening, it is recommended that the April 2026 payments be approved for all district funds. Policy reference 6470, payment of claims. Strategic plan goal reference, facilities/operations. Benton Harbor Area Schools will develop, implement, and evaluate a fiscally responsible plan that will ensure physical and psychological safety. Recommended action that the Board of Education approve the April 1st through April 30th, 2026 payments for the following funds. General Fund, $640,664.60. Food Service Fund, $6,463.13. Sinking Fund, $119,200 for a total of $766,627.73.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report F1?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
A motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Bradley. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Secretary Triplett? Trustee Doyle?
I don't see the check for $160,000 for that project that's going on, so I will support this one.
I don't know if that wouldn't have been cut already, correct?
No, not for the April reports.
Okay. All right, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
Madam President, the motion carried with 7 votes, yes.
Up next, we have the mileage rates for 2026. Director Bar Carter, I forgot to ask you, was this reviewed prior or is this the first? Was this on the, did you get a chance to go through the mileage rates for 2026 previously?
No, these are the millage rate.
Millage, sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
No, I didn't have the information at the time. There are some municipalities waiting for our documentation in order to give us our property tax payments. So I apologize for this not being reviewed at the previous meeting. But it is important that we take care of it today. I did notify some municipalities that I will have a signed document for them after this meeting. I'm more than welcome to retract my statement if need be. But if we could move forward this evening, that would be great.
Okay, can you proceed with presenting staff report F2 and then we'll open the floor if there's any questions or comments.
Millage rates for 2026. Reason for board consideration. Each year, the Board of Education is required to approve the millage rates to be levied for the school property taxes and authorize the filing of the annual tax rate request from L 4029 with Berrien County. Facts and analysis. The district has received its 2026 millage reduction fraction calculations worksheet. That's from L 4034 and tax rate request from L 4029 from the Berrien County Equalization Department. The calculations reflect the annual Headley Amendment rollback requirements to establish the maximum allowable millage rates that can be levied for the 2026 tax year. Approval of these rates will allow the district to timely submit required documents to Berrien County and local tax collection units for the levy of school taxes. Policy reference none. Recommended action that the Board of Education approve the following millage rates for 2026. Operating millage on non-homestead, non-pre property, 17.9694 mills. 2017 sinking fund millage on property, 2 mills. Commercial personal property, 6 mills, and all other property, 18 mills.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report F2?
I so move.
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Vice President Bowens. I just want to state for the record, I can read, the agenda says mileage rates, although the staff resolution says millage. So I don't want you all to think that I cannot read.
No, that's why I asked you. It better have one L in it. That's all I was saying.
And I'm sure it was a correction.
Okay, so at this time, the motion was made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Vice President Bowens. I open the floor to Bowens for questions.
Got a question on commercial personal property. I don't know if the law allows it. I see it's 17 mills for the non-homestead. I'm on all property, 2 mills, commercial personal property. Are we able, and I know this is no intention of the board to do it. I want to say that so nobody gets scared. Are we able to raise that on personal property, commercial property, or would we have to raise it all?
I'm not sure. I would have to double check with the county treasurer on that, but a commercial personal property is like the equipment inside of a commercial. It's not the building.
Okay.
Right, it's like the machines and then the certain property. Personal property within a commercial building is not taxable. It's property over a certain amount.
So which one would the commercial be?
You mean the commercial buildings?
Buildings, yes, sorry. Is that considered non-homestead?
That is considered all other, the 18 mills.
That's a little high already. Okay, thank you.
The question that I have, Director Carter, is there any increase in either of these rates from our previous fiscal year?
Yes, there is, not an increase in the mills, but our, I'd have to pull it up, the base taxable value of the Berrien County homes has increased.
Understood. So we're not increasing, our mills noted are standard, but of course, there's been an increase to tax values.
That's correct.
Any other questions from the board?
Right here.
Yes.
We'll go to Trustee Bradley and then Secretary Triplett.
Vice President Boyd wanted to ask this question for you all. He wanted to know if we don't pass this millage, what would be the consequences?
I want to state for the record that each trustee gives 1 turn per topic. And so I want to state for the record that you have found a loophole in getting more than 1 turn. So thank you for being honest and notating where the question came from. You have the floor, Director Carter.
If we don't pass it, we won't get our property tax payments.
So
Secretary Triplett.
Was the question, if we as a board don't pass it, is that?
I believe that was the question, if the board pass this particular.
Oh, if the residents don't pass the millage.
Oh, the millage has already been passed by.
I thought it said June 26 expires. Is that a new one? Sorry.
Excuse me?
I thought I read something December 26 expires. Is that?
Well, if we wanted to increase our mills,
Okay.
we can do so at the November election.
Okay.
And then this one does expire December 26th, and if we increased it, the new one will start the following year.
Secretary Triplett, did you get a chance? You were just asking for clarification?
No, I'm
Okay.
on all of this. I was,
Okay.
on the whole procedure about with the tax and 18 mills and all of that, how that works for school district. But all of the, one thing that's very, very important is that we get this paperwork done for everybody that we're supposed to get taxes from.
Correct. All
And so
municipalities.
this right here for me is this should be done. So whatever, I know that we are a district that are made up of several different municipalities. And what have, how soon can we get all of those to collect the taxes from all those different municipalities and get the paperwork signed so that we'll get our money?
Once the signatures tonight, I'll be sending our form tomorrow to our municipalities, and the funds normally start coming in immediately after they receive the paperwork.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments from the board, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report F2?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Madam President, motion passed with 7 votes.
Thank
Thank
you. Okay, so our next vote is for Stepping Stones contract, but I just had a clarification and I apologize. President Robinson? Oh, I skipped forward. Okay, I'm so ready to get this clarified. I do that on the side with Dr. Griffin. Budget hearing discussion, Director Rock Carter.
I believe Dr. Griffin, did you want to handle this one? Or did you want me to just discuss where we are so far? Okay.
On our meetings.
Yes, we have been meeting daily on the budget. We are going through every position, every allocation, all funds, and we are moving at a great rate so that we can have everything ready for the hearing. But yes, we are meeting regularly. In the superintendent's calendar that she had available, Ms. Singer was nice enough to put me in, so we are meeting as a cabinet, Dr. Griffin, myself, Ms. Dorsey, and Ms. Hagler Thomas. And then we have a principals meeting tomorrow that will give us more input on the budget. But we are moving very well and working together, and making sure all the information is going to be ready for the board, and our budget will be rectified on time.
So what is your anticipated date for the budget hearing?
The 23rd is my anticipated date. We will get the public notice out 6 days ahead of that date. There may be some small meetings prior to that. We want to introduce more than one scenario to the board. Prior to the hearing, when we come to the hearing, we'll have one budget ready to go that we all agree on. But we do want to give different scenarios on the budget and before we do the final hearing. So you may receive an email or notification to see when your availability is. We have to have an actual public meeting prior, then we'll do that, but we're hoping to meet in small groups with the board prior to the hearing so that you all can see the different scenarios and we can move forward with one budget.
Okay, and then you clarified for me during the break that with the June 23rd, 2026 anticipated date, the budget hearing would be, are you proposing
an hour ahead of the regular meeting as we've done in the past?
Okay, so our standard, and I'll come to you, I see Vice President Bones, our standard meetings are at 6. So we may want to, I don't know that the board has availability to come at 5 due to our work schedules. So we have a choice of either having a 5:30 budget hearing and a 6:30 meeting, or a 6 o'clock budget hearing and a 7 o'clock meeting. So that's something I want you all to marinate on. And then I'll give the floor to Vice President Bowen.
So pre-messaging, and I don't want to put you in a hot seat with the public. I see that state current administration, it will be cutting, not the state, sorry. The current administration will be doing some major cuts with this new education budget that's coming out. Would you say that the projected budget, we should not expect sunny skies, but cloudy with a bit of sunshine?
We should, if we continue with, the revenue should stay the same. We have received our estimated allocations for Title 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are about the same as they were for 25, 26. The per pupil amount is expected to be the same or increase from the state. And huge portion of our budget, which is 31A, is also expected to stay about the same. So on the revenue side, we are expected to be almost the same. The expense side is where the clouds come in. Just taking from what you said, Trustee Bowens. If we continue our spending at the level that we are now, please expect a huge deficit in the 26-27 budget.
So we basically need to prepare for cuts that we, or stuff, not putting you on a, we basically.
We are going, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we are going to present several scenarios. Some, one with everything, one with recommended cuts, and hopefully one that may be a bit in between.
Thank you.
And when you say cuts, you mean just cost saving?
Cost savings, and because we're a school district, we know that majority of our cost comes from staffing. People are the biggest part of our budget. So we will be presenting a budget with potential staff cuts based on the needs of the buildings. And matching our staffing with enrollment.
Okay, Secretary Triplett.
You know, I know, you know, it's almost like a mindset, you know, when you've been in quote unquote poverty so long that when you come out, you don't even realize that you're out. When we're talking about, when we use the word cut, the first thing come to mind, people are gonna lose their job. We're gonna lose this, we're gonna lose teachers, we're gonna lose. First of all, we don't have all the teachers that we need, number one. So you can't lose what you don't have. Okay, so we talk about getting certified people in these positions, which are moving in that direction. But that won't be a cut per se. The thing is, like you said, it's spending. We definitely need to look at these millions of dollars that we spent in hope with all of these contracts that we have gone into with people, all of this massive amount on curriculum and items and different things that were spent previously. People came in and made presentation, and then when we get here, the workforce can't handle it. It's not, you know, they're not distributed. So so when we say cut, for me, instead of using the word cut, we're gonna have to make adjustments.
Correct.
Financial adjustments. We are not in a deficit. And let's be clear. And you have to be, you know, the words that go out to this community and how people take those words and run with those words. We have to be mindful. So there will be some adjustments. We've already spent enough money. We have situations where, I don't know if this is the case this year, we have millions of dollars or whatever. We have loads and loads of money in Title I, and people don't even spend it all. And you have to know how to use those things, those funds and what have you without supplanting, but making sure that the needs of this district is met and not funneled out to whatever.
I agree,
And
trustee.
so when you have administrators that know how to efficiently use their budget for their building, we shouldn't have a problem. So again, I just want us to make sure that the messaging, because we got people rooting for it to be said that we got to cut people got to lose it, and putting false narratives out in this community because that's what they expect. So it's kind of hard to accept that we're pretty good right now, and we're grateful, but we just have to move with a plan of action, long range planning as well as short range, in the things that we need within our building. So I appreciate what you're doing. I also appreciate that you all are working together. It does bother me that everything is always in the 11th hour, and that's uncomfortable for everybody. It is very uncomfortable, and it should not be. And so I'm glad in June that everybody's working together, and we'll be able to, on the 23rd, be able to make a decision as it relates to the budget for Benton Harbor Area School. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board in the discussion? I do want to make sure, Treasurer Gavin, I do want to make sure that we talk about the timing of the meetings as well before we move to the next subject. You have the floor.
Thank you, President Robinson. Director Carter, I have a couple questions. how many, if any, people have been informed that they will not have a job due to finances? None. Nobody. No. Are you certain? Are you
To my
recollecting with HR? HR is here if they would like to chime in.
Director Dorsey, can you take the mic, please?
My response is the same as hers. There's been no one released due to finances.
Okay. Have we restructured any departments due to finances?
We haven't presented the budget yet. We're still working on the budget, so we haven't done anything yet.
Should we anticipate recommendations for department or school cuts due to finances?
You have the floor, Dr. Griffin.
We haven't made any decisions regarding any cuts to the budget, to positions because of the budget. We are looking at positions and looking for ways to put people in qualified positions, because it is my endeavor, and this is something I spoke to every time we sit down to meet, to make sure that we're able to keep everybody, if we can, in some capacity for what they're qualified and competent in. And we will continue to do that.
Okay, and so we're not looking to close any schools this time? Is that something that's being considered? No. Okay, good to hear. Do we have any incentives in place for staff to be involved in recruitment and enrollment of students? Incentive for staff? Yes. Not particularly around enrollment. We have given retention, I'm sorry, retention, enrollment and retention. Yes, we have given retention bonuses to the staff. We did it twice during this school year. And we did set aside money also for recruitment so that new employees can also receive bonuses. My apologies. I mean, I should have been clear. That's my apologies. I mean, like recruitment, enrollment, retention of students. So staff being involved in the process of recruitment, enrollment, retention of students. Not at this time. Okay.
However, I would add that that is something that we can consider as we look at budget funds and what the grants will allow us to do, and whether or not we have to put those monies and those incentives in general funds. Nothing's off the table to ensure that we're able to welcome back students from surrounding school districts back home to Benton Harbor.
Thank you. I say that because sometimes we say we have too much staff, and I believe that there are ways to structure the staff so that they are actively engaging in a process that increases our enrollment, increases our financial capacity, increases that culture and climate, so that we won't even have those conversations about deficit. And I do want to get some clarity around what Secretary Triplett said. We're not in a deficit. Is that correct, Director Brock Carter? We're not in a deficit. We're just spending more than we were. We are spending more than our revenue. So we have a fund balance that protects us so that when we spend more than our revenue, we have a fund balance to keep us out of a deficit, to offset that cost. And what is a fund balance? I have to pull up the monthly reports.
Can somebody at technology help us with the computer?
I think it's so important for us to be clear on that part. We've come out of a major war And so it's going to take some investments in our school district and our staff and our community for us to recover from that.
And so I'll allow Director Barcarter to get that answer. I just want to make sure, I want to reset us because we were, if I'm understanding, the budget hearing was more so about timing, how we want to do it, how we want to pre-prepare. And so we're starting to go into the meat of the conversations concerning the budget in the budget itself, and no options are presented before us. So I'll allow her to answer that question, but I do want us to at least have tangible options and things of that nature in front of us before we dig too deep in this actual conversation, because nothing's been presented to us.
And I say that, President Robinson, because of the narrative.
No, I understand.
You know, it's so important for us, this deficit conversation lends itself to cutting folks that we don't need to be cutting. And so I just want to make sure that the community and whoever is listening understands that we're not in a deficit. We're spending as we should.
And while you pull that total, can you clarify what it's called when you spend more revenue than your income for an annual year?
It results in a deficit
For that particular year. So I want to make sure, I know that we want to be clear that essentially the points being made by Secretary Triplett and Treasurer Gavin are the fact that we do have millions in our fund balance. But as it relates to an annual year, because the expenditures exceed the revenue, there is an annual deficit. And so we want to make sure that we're clear on that. And that just means we're spending more annually than what we're bringing in, but there still is a positive fund balance at this time. Do you have that number handy for Treasurer Gavin?
Yes, and it's a structural deficit.
Structural, okay.
Yeah. And as of April 30th, 2026, our general fund balance is $20,780,901. Okay. Thank you. So $20 million, right? So just to be clear, the words can be what they are, but that's money that we can be investing in our school district to make sure that our kids have what they need, that our staff is paid, and that we're able to provide the services. Because who is benefiting when it's just sitting in the bank? Because it ain't us. And so I get the words, but we also have to be clear in how we're communicating that to our people. Because I'm not here to make the bank feel good. I'm here to make sure that our kids and staff get what they need so that our kids can have the education they deserve. Thank you.
And my job as your president to make sure that we are accurate in the information that we put out completely. So I'm not trying to disregard any points that anyone is making. That's why I asked her to give us the actual term of the point that she was attempting to make as it relates to revenue and expenditures. And I think that's important for us and the public to know, regardless to what direction we go with the budget. I'll go to Vice President Barnes. Oh no, that's Bradley. And then we'll go to Rocket Martin. And then reminder, we need the focus of this particular topic again is to make sure we navigate the actual logistics of the budget hearing, because I know that this is a topic that we can sit here and talk about for 2 hours, but we're trying to get to the heart of how to proceed moving forward with that actual conversation. We'll go to Bradley and then Rocket Martin.
I'll just say this to be real quick. From what I was hearing in discussion, it sounds like we went down this road last year. Yeah, the numbers are on the paper, but like I said, we want to be conservative in how we spend the money. And I understand everybody's understanding, but we also, yes, we want to invest the money, but we also don't want to overspend our budget as well. So I do understand where you're coming from in the finance department.
Okay, Rocket Martin.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment on the incentive part too. One thing, it would be nice to know that that you can express to our staff. The incentive would be if you can retain and recruit students, that would help you to maintain a job. Because kids bring in money, and money is what we need for staff. The other thing is, I know that our fund balance is 20 million. And that's like a savings for us too. And so if we continue, and I'm not against spending the money, but we do have to be careful. We have to be extremely careful.
Yeah.
Because if you keep spending out of that fund, that general fund balance, more than we're putting in, eventually it will get depleted. It's like a savings account. You have your bills, you pay your bills, and you don't have enough, so you go into your savings to pay your bills. And eventually that savings dries up. And so we have to be mindful of that we want to keep that kind of a fund balance so that our district will continue in existence. And I know there's an amount that the state says we have to keep just to exist. What is, can you tell us?
10 to 15% of our revenue we should have in a fund balance.
Okay,
Which is how
so we
much?
can't spend under. Okay.
Okay, so then as far as the, you said that you wanted to follow with the board as far as meetings, individual meetings. I would ask if you all could present us with options and ensure that there's evening options and maybe afternoon, like lunch hour options, and maybe a morning option. That way there's variety in what works for the board. And then that way the board can select the date or time that works best for them based on those variables. And then I wanted to make sure we get back to the board. I know that we previously at one point, I think about 2 years ago, our meetings used to be at 5:30. They're at 6 now. That's still I think we're getting here as fast as we can at 6 o'clock, but I want to know, are you all wanting to have your budget hearing I won't be here, so I won't be here that date, but are you guys wanting that budget hearing at 5 with expectation that the meeting will be maintained at 6? Or are you wanting to push the main meeting back?
I think we should do the 6th, but we should also make sure that the board meeting agenda is not stacked
I agree.
with loads and loads of stuff, only the things that must be handled. That's it, no last minute adding because people didn't get this and the state called in January and you gotta have it yesterday. All of that, we need all that cleared out at central administration. The only things on that agenda is pressing business. And I think we can move in that capacity.
We also have to do our final budget for 25-26
In that second meeting or during the hearing?
in the second meeting.
Okay, so is the remainder of the board in agreement with the budget hearing being at 6 o'clock and the board meeting starting at 7 o'clock on that 23rd? I think we would be pushing it to try to go sooner than that with 5:30.
Thank you.
Any objections to that from the table? If I'm not mistaken, even though that's a work session, that's currently on the board calendar. So we would technically need a vote. We would need to amend the agenda to allow for that vote to push the work session, the scheduled work session meeting back to 7 o'clock because we've already agreed on the work session being at 6. So would anybody like to make a motion to?
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Treasurer Gavin. Any questions, comments, concerns? And this is just about amending to allow for the vote to push it back. All right, Secretary Triplett, please call the vote.
President Robinson.
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and Triplett, you made the motion
Yeah,
and it was supported by Gavin.
and this is to adjust.
And now this is, that was to allow us to take the vote. Now I'll ask, is there a motion to change the time, the start time of the June 23rd, 2026 work session meeting to 7 o'clock?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
I support.
Okay, the motion has been made by Triplett and supported by Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett?
President Robinson.
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Carrie.
All right, so the budget hearing will begin at 6 o'clock. And the work session will start at 7 o'clock. Director Parker, could you send an email to Singer? I know she's absent. She'll read the meeting, but I just want to make sure that the posted schedule is adjusted to reflect such.
Like tomorrow.
Yes.
All righty. So if there's no other discussions from the board regarding the budget hearing, we'll proceed. There's a department update under student support services.
Just wanted to talk specifically around the work that we have looked at for this past year. And then starting to make that shift towards more restorative and relationship-based approaches to school climate and discipline, as well as McKinney-Vento support services. So I'm looking and working with our team to hear more from them. I've had some great meetings with them and gotten insight and feedback and input around what we need to do in terms of our strengths and those areas of growth and changes we need to make for the year going forward. And this includes data to monitor the patterns in behavior and discipline, specifically when it comes to the reliance on exclusionary practices and providing students with structured opportunities to repair harm and rebuild connections with their peers and with staff. I noticed in my meetings and my one-on-ones with our safety director, Trooper Burton, we found that there were patterns of situations, but by the time we get to the expulsion hearing, we could see that there was some missed opportunities for us to work with the students and the families around some of the social-emotional challenges the students were having. And so we're going to take some time this summer to really make some adjustments to what PBIS should look like for Tier 1 school-wide across our district, as well as opportunities to ensure that there is much more family and community engagement around the awareness of services that are available to them through our grants and our county and state support services, so that they know that they have access to support when they need it in times of crisis, and also strengthening the bond between the support for kids and with parents, because they have a tendency to have needs that come up in a crisis when they get to those tables. And so we're going to do some much more diving into what that support looks like, so that next year in that department, things are much more preventive rather than reactive.
Okay, any questions regarding that update?
Madam President.
Secretary Triplett.
All of the people that we have in place in these buildings, graduation advisors, character coaches, what kind of data are they providing for this district? Dr. Griffin, I heard you say you were meeting with the team. Who is the student services team? What people are on the team?
We have Tiara, she is our truancy person. She provides guidance to all of the schools regarding attendance and chronic absenteeism. So she gives them strategies and funding so that they have a plan for their school to be able to engage those kids and work with the school teams, the leadership team, to help those babies want to stay in school, finding out why they're at home, why they're missing, and seeing if we can connect them with supports for the reasons that they're at home. It could be health, it could be, any type of concern that the mother or parents or guardians may be dealing with by themselves.
No, I wanted to know, you said you meet with the team. Who was the team? You got the attendance person, Miss Allen.
Yes, Miss Allen. We've got our family community engagement specialist, so that's Soledad and Ardell, all of those people around the district. We have Miss Brenda Matthews, who gives us a ton of information that we need for how our families leave and how they come in. So that in McKinney-Vento support services. So there are meetings that I've had with them to get a sense of what are some things in terms of a SWOT analysis. What do we need to work on to strengthen and get better about in the year to come? And so I'll continue those meetings with them more closely over the summer so that we can codify those things and improve our systems.
Yeah, so that right there would be, because I'm just curious to know, when we talk about meeting with teams, people, that's good data. That's an artifact. And within that artifact, sign-in sheets of all of these meetings that's been held with these groups collectively as a collective in student service, because I really, since our student service director has been out, I never knew who her team was and how they worked as a collective. So I'm looking forward to getting that information from you. Because I know it's very, very important when you have all of those support services working together, things will change. Loads and loads of things will change, but if people are just in these positions and sitting in these buildings with no accountability, we can't justify people doing that and, they're not doing their work. And that's one thing that is very, very important, that Benton Harbor area schools get the best bang for its buck. This is not a place where you just come and sit around and be on Facebook and all over the place, because you have to work every day. And so I'm looking for those artifacts and that information from them. So excited about it and how we'll be moving in the next direction. Thank you so much.
All right, so if there's no other questions regarding the update provided, we next on the agenda was the Stepping Stones contract. I would ask what I am asking for out of necessity at this particular time is that we actually table staff report SSS1. It is not due to a lack of support for the particular staff report. However, it's come to our attention that the contract linked is not accurate.
Who is Stepping Stone?
Dr. Griffin, can you clarify?
Yeah, who is Stepping Stone?
They provide us with, in the special ed department, our social services for those, the social workers that we don't have in those vacancies. They provide some of that support.
And just to clarify, our name is not indicated on the agreement, which is why I'm requesting that you all table it. It's Bendel Public Schools.
Is who?
Bendel Public Schools.
Or Bendel and Mileage
So
equivalent.
I'll ask, is there a motion to table?
I so move.
Unless you all need to look over it just to ensure what I'm saying is accurate.
I don't.
Okay, you request to table. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, Secretary Triplett, can you call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
No.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
She stepped out.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Vice President Vaughn, just out of curiosity, you're not required to tell me, why is your vote no?
Bobby Brown says it best. It's my prerogative.
You gonna vote on another school district's contract?
No, but I actually, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I get that, and that's something that you can just white out and fix. Yeah, that's something that you can white out and fix.
But it would also need to be signed by the individual parties.
And I get that, and thank God you can do scan it and fax it. He's made technology and it's even more advanced.
Understood, we'll
And it
proceed.
does come before the board, but one thing I will say is,
It's just a minor,
you,
yeah.
I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
now, so.
Go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I got something to say.
we have not heard from our department chair of the need or what it was questions last. So even if it was to go into discussion, ask questions and then table it to get what the information, I know it was tabled last time and here we are again. Some of that stuff could have been whited out and everything. So that's why I just said no, because we need to make sure we're getting a head start with this. So sorry. And again, it was my prerogative and I apologize if my prerogative.
Madam President?
You started it.
No, I just wanted clarity, and I'll just, so I wasn't at the work session, I'm not sure if it was just and we don't have to necessarily get into it too much, but what I have before you all is not what you're voting to approve. It's not even, we do not have the authority to approve this. So that's why I thought, it's not that I did, and I understand you saying you would like to have more discussion about it, but being that it's coming back, we will have an opportunity to approve this. And Secretary Triplett, I know that you asked for there to be minimal information on that next agenda, but this will be a topic that'll need to be on there. You have the floor.
Yeah, and I do understand, because each one of us, when we're making these votes, is all of our prerogative. But what I will say and what I will not do, I will not sit at this board table, report after report with mistakes, typos, have people reading phonetically that can't read, reading the words wrong, it's offensive, scribbling. I'm not gonna do it. We pay too much money when you talk about that budget. And you talk about that revenue and that money going out, and most of that revenue is in people. There's almost $1 million up top. I think I personally, myself, as a Board of Education, I'm offended. And I am not playing. Because I don't think that there's no way in the world that I would have to repeatedly, you see us up here scuffling, we look and we plan. That's unacceptable. And it is evidence of something, a larger matter. And so I do understand we should not accept anything that's not presented to us without it being excellent. We have too many tools and things in place to spell check, to make sure if we can get this in 10 minutes on a 10-minute recess, this should have been in our packet from the beginning. And again, and I'm going to say it over and over again, nobody has returned their check. Benton Harbor deserves the very best, just like everybody else. And so I'm very serious about this. And I have tried to hold it myself, but I am a professional. I'm not perfect. This is offensive. We have people with master's degrees, PhDs. We shouldn't have this coming to us at this table. It's unacceptable. Everybody makes mistakes. This is unacceptable. And so I appreciate that. And yeah, we can white out. If that's what you think all we deserve is from our team bringing us stuff that we have to white out and scan and read. No. When it comes here, it should be ready. Thank you.
Madam President, was that a rebuttal to me or?
No, that was my prerogative.
We're gonna proceed with the agenda because we're gonna keep it moving. We're not gonna do that tonight. Since we had plenty of time, last meeting in my absence to do that. So we're gonna keep it moving today. Facilities Department update.
Thank you. I will yield to Dr. Bullock to give us an update.
Hey, everybody. Our superintendent had a chance to meet our contractors as well. Bar Demo will have their final clearance for abatement on July 11th. Melchi will begin their abatement on June 15th at Martindale. And our facilities department are doing walkthroughs with our principals to identify items and areas that need to be addressed for the next school year.
Okay, any questions from the board on that update?
No, I just when I ride past bars every day, and I can place something out there as a marker. And Bard is still sitting there in the same shape. It hasn't been touched. We have paid, I think, $89,000 at one point, and another set of, and nothing's been done. And so again, hopefully I'll get a chance to speak with the superintendent and the director of facilities for our director lead. But again, these are the things that we're facing as a Board of Education with our constituents. This money was paid last month. And it looks the same. So why did we pay the money that we paid? What was that money used for? And there's no action.
Director Bullock, do you have a response? Has there been delays in the construction or the?
There's not been delay. It haven't been any delays. It's a lot of the work is going on the inside. We have pictures to verify. Building had to be cleaned out. It was terrible. So we do have pictures and updates. As far as when the construction actually start demoing, it's only going to take probably like 2 weeks to demo the building. But the abatement is a slow process. We got to make sure we got enough air. It's a lot going on when you're talking about asbestos and different things like that. So it is a slow process in the building. Our superintendent went and visited the site as well, so she see the progress and the movement going on as well. We do have pictures of the many dumpsters that has been taken out of the building. So on the outside, you can't see what's going on the inside, but it is work going on.
Yeah, I would like to say this, and I'm gonna close out because I'm not here to argue. I can see what's going on in the inside because the inside is open. So I don't know what they're doing because there's no windows, there's no signal. So I ride past it every day. I'm just glad that you two are communicating and this get closed out before you leave by June the 30th. But we need to see more progress. We need to see what is happening because we cannot keep giving these large lumps of sums and we're not getting what we're paying for. Because those buildings somebody, Martindale hasn't even started and Bard is still standing. So I understand what you're saying. I appreciate it. But I'm saying for me looking, I'm not going up in there, but I can see all the way through that building. So I don't know what's been seen or what's been taken out because it was wide open. So asbestos has already hit the height. But thank you anyhow. Appreciate you, Director Bullock.
I think Dr. Griffin had a response and then we'll go to Bradley.
I do want to thank Dr. Bullock. I confirm what he shared because it was shared with me. There was a lot of leeway. Unfortunately, with Bar, because it had been partially open, it became a dumping ground and they have removed, as he stated, I can confirm, I walked the property, I can see at least 5 dumpsters. They've also been very careful adhering to the asbestos criteria to ensure that now they lift enough floors. There is a tunnel in that building that they have to be very careful about for asbestos. All of that, just like he said, I agree, he's doing a good job. He's making sure they stay on it. They have to adhere. It takes weeks on the front end for some of this stuff to take place before they pull brick. And so I do thank him for the confirmation that I got with the team and meeting with me himself to find out, okay, there's essentially a lot of front loading that has to be done before any bricks are pulled so that they can adhere to the state federal guidelines around what that looks like. So I know it has been a slow process on the front end, but I'm excited to say he's right. When it gets to the part where they do tear it down, it'll be done very expeditiously in about 2 weeks. And that document, that new timeline, he and I have also shared it with Secretary Triblett, Mr. Bowens, and I think we shared it for your reference. So that you can see all of the documents. He gave me a hard copy, all of it has been scanned. I emailed it to you for your reference, so you can see that a lot of the work has been, and I understand, I felt the same way, but in talking to, he's right. Everything he said checked out.
I do know that Director Bullock is an expert in those areas that relate to construction. So I trust what you're saying and what you're doing. I'm just glad that we're in motion. Thank you, sir.
All right, Trustee Bradley. Okay, Trustee Doyle.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a question about the master facility plan, because I know you guys are aware that the community and students are interested and would like to get that pool up and running. So can I get an update on the master facility plan?
Whoever would like.
You wanna go ahead? Well, I would just wanted to speak to, yes, I agree. I would like the pool to be updated too. What I have been doing in my conversations with our new grant writers, talking about the need for that to be updated, part of the construction. There's a grant that we're working on that is all about construction and then giving us the opportunity to use funds for that. So I do respect and understand the urgency around the pool and many other places throughout the district. And so I've been having those meetings with Ms. LeMay about, there's one grant in particular, it's millions of dollars that could help us with funding for getting the pool up and getting it running, but it is a process. And now I'll yield to Dr. Bowles.
Yep, so I have actually reached out to a couple pool vendors, so they gonna be scheduling a time. This is the busy season right now for them, so they are trying to work on their schedule just to come up here and assess our pool. So.
Okay, thank you.
Facilities master plan update. Master's facility plan update. I think she mentioned that as well.
Yes, so we did, we kind of waiting on, I know, Dr. Griffin did email the board about,
C2A.
yep, C2AE, so we kind of waiting on a plan from you all. What do you all want to do with some of the buildings? And
Then we do some type of, can you clarify?
Wait, jeez. You just,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Doyle. Did we do some type of survey with the community, asking them, but that wasn't really clear. I believe that's what happened with that. Am I correct?
So can I ask, has there been an adjusted timeline developed? Either of you can answer, have we had a chance to adjust the timeline that was previously provided to us that goes through all of the steps? Cause did we get all of the community input?
Well, one of the things that came out with what they said, because it was only a few people, well, I won't say a few, but it was about a little over 100. And one of the things that we had put in the email is, do you want to put another one out? Because we have the facilities condition index. We see what condition the buildings are in. We're just waiting on insight from you guys on how you would like us to move. And so we can certainly put another survey out and we can certainly make sure that everybody's clear about it. Just let us know and we will proceed. And Dr. Bullock, we can proceed if you wanted to.
Okay, so essentially we're at the space where we need to be analyzing, and I would like the timeline adjusted for this year. But essentially what I'm hearing you communicate is that we're at the space where we need to be assessing the timeline, the community feedback received, and then coming together tangibly for a recommendation of what we want to do with what buildings. Okay, we're gonna get that done. Okay, there's no other questions. We'll allow to proceed in human resources. I anticipate under old business, we have board retreat. That'll be part of one of the things that we do in the board retreat. Being that we have multiple meetings this month. We'll sit down, we'll have that conversation as well. But we'll proceed to human resources. Because what I would like for us to do is come up with a tangible draft that we all kind of agree on and then get community feedback from that draft. But I'll allow us to move forward.
I'll yield to Ms. Dorsey to go through the different steps in the staff reports.
The H1 report is a separation report. The subject is separation of employment. The date is June 9th, 2026. The reason for board consideration: a list of employees whose employment relationship with the district is or will be separated is submitted to the board each month. Facts and analysis. It is recommended that the board vote to accept the separation of employment of the following staff. Policy reference 3140 and 4140, termination and resignation of professional support staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership. Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. So for separations, we have Amon Burden, GSRP associate teacher, resignation effective May 20th, building DEC, date of hire October 19th, 2015. Exit interview is done in person on the 29th of May. Is it completed? Yes. And okay to share with the board? Yes. We have Natalie Singer, executive assistant, resignation, effective date 6/3/2026, date of hire 8/21/2023. Exit interview held 6/5/2026. Exit interview completed, yes. Okay, share with the board, yes. Kayla Dumas was a teacher in training. She resigned effective 6/17/2026 from Fairplain Middle School. Date of hire September 14th, 2022. Exit date interview sent or held June 5th, 2026. It's not complete yet. And then TBD to share with the board. Tawante Townsend, athletics administrative assistant, resignation effective 6/30/2026, Benton Harbor High School. Date of hire 12/2/24. Exit interview held or will be, it was sent June 5th of 2026, not completed yet, and TBD for okay to share. Elizabeth Perkins, certified music teacher, resignation. Effective 6/3/2026 from MLK. She was hired January 31st, 2022. And it was sent on the 5th of June. It will be done in person on the 10th of June. Then John, I don't want to mispronounce that.
Okay.
Nico.
Boyko.
Thank you. Certified teacher, PE. Retired. Effective date 6/5/2026 from MLK. Date of hire August 26, 1998. Exit interview was sent on the 5th of June. We have not held that yet, and okay to share is TBD. We recommend that the Benton Harbor Area School Board of Education vote to accept the resignation of employment of the aforementioned staff.
Okay, I just have a point of clarification. Is Ms. Singer's date correct? Cause she's still working. It's noted as June 3rd.
She is still working.
So do you know what date should be there? The 17th?
She gave us 2 weeks. Yes,
So should that should be edited to the 17th?
yes, it will be.
Okay, and then her title is executive, is it executive?
Assistant.
Executive assistant, okay. Okay, so is there a motion to approve staff report H1 with the noted amendment that Natalie Singer's resignation date is June 17th, 2026?
I make the motion to approve staff report H1 with the noted amendment.
Support.
The motion has been made by VP Bowens and supported by Trustee Bradley. Any questions, comments, or concerns? My apologies. You have the floor.
I don't see Natalie's exit interview.
Is that in our packet?
She has to be given after she leaves.
Oh.
Vice President Bowens?
Thank you. It's Mr. the PE teacher. Happy retirement. You're seeing some of these positions. It's just interesting. I'm glad that we had a certified music teacher at MLK. So I'm sorry to see that go, but I also want to say thank you to Natalie for her work, her telephone calls, and reminding us, making sure we were registered for conferences, and just her commitment to Benton Harbor area schools. And I'm expecting great things from you when she leaves.
All right, Bradley?
I would just like to say, I hate to see some names on here, especially our executive assistant, our district gatekeeper. And I know if she's listening, I want to say thank you so much. When I called today, I did not realize until I went and checked later that you were resigning, but I do thank you for like you said, being a gatekeeper for our superintendents, making sure that the board had the resources that they needed. Anything that we call, text. So I appreciate your service, and to all our other staff members that are leaving, we thank you for your service to our school district as well.
So I would like to add, I wish all the best to the staff, whether they have resigned or retired. Specifically, this long-term date of hire 8/26/1998. That's wonderful. So we thank you for your efforts given and the longevity reflected. Also, I agree with Ms. Singer choosing to move on to greater pastures. I just want to wish her the best in her future endeavors, especially with her school studies and things of that nature. She's been a strong point of contact for me stepping in when our previous executive assistant transitioned or retired. So I am going to miss her extremely, and I hope that we are able to secure someone that is extremely strong in that position, because they are a guiding foundation for the work that the board does as well. Any other comments from the board?
Yes,
Secretary Tripp.
Madam President, to Mr. Voco, I worked with him down through the years. And I didn't notice that we had any retirement celebrations for staff that were retiring. Or if he was even honored. And he gave many years of service to this district, and I hope that something is done to honor him and to thank him. When somebody showed that type of loyalty, it needs to be acknowledged. To all of us, to Iman, Natalie, Kayla, Toronto, and to Miss Perkins. Had an opportunity to work with her down through the years as well. I want to thank you all. I hope that you didn't leave with a bitter taste in your mouth. And I also want to thank Natalie. Like my colleagues have said, being the gatekeeper for this district, that's a very serious role, and I wish you the very, very best, Nikki. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gavin. Treasurer Gavin.
Thank you, President Robinson. I have a question about our teacher in training. Were they given, was this how do I say this? I noticed that we have a certified teacher in the new hire portion. With our teacher in training program, are they dismissed? Do they have opportunities to stay on? How does that work in this separation?
In the case of Ms. Dumas,
Yes.
once she resigned, we posted the position and people applied right away. She still had time left in TNT had she wanted that. That was her decision.
Okay, so she had the option to stay.
I never met with her. I never.
Got you. Okay. Okay, so I want to say thank you to everybody here. Because these exit interviews are not on here, I don't know all the details as to the whys. I've already expressed my gratitude to Iman Burton, awesome teacher at DEC. I've seen a lot of executive assistants to the superintendent, whether it be from my community work, whether it be from working for my father several years ago, or being on the board before. And what I want to say about Miss Singer is that she was a breath of fresh air, a class act, kind, thorough, accountable, and I'm very grateful to her for the service that she provided. And I pray that somehow she finds another space in this district, because her spirit was just something that we need. So I'm truly going to miss her. Miss Dumas, excellent teacher. My son loved her class, loved the work, loved the rigor, loved how organized she was. So I'm hoping that she'll find something back in the district again. So I'm just thankful to everyone on the list, but those are the people who I have seen personally and professionally in their work. And also thanks to Mr. Boyko as well. I've kind of seen him take on classes that were not necessarily his own, because that's kind of what PE teachers end up doing sometimes. So thank you for his years of service.
Okay, if there's no other comments from the board, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report H1? Oh, you sure can.
I just wanted to take a moment and say publicly my appreciation to Ms. Singer as well. Having coming into the position brand new, she has done a tremendous job, just remarkable job of providing me with insight, not just about the role, but about my position and the community. And she worked diligently every single day. She was with me to share just her kindness, her wisdom, and her demeanor, just in making sure that as much as possible that I would be on my game. And so she will be sorely, sorely missed. So I want to let her know on the record. I am proud of the work that she did with me this last year, and I cannot wait to celebrate her educational growth in her new endeavor. Sad to see her go, but excited about her future. And of course, I appreciate the service of all of the members that are on this forum, and special shout out to Mr. Voico. I got a chance to see a video of him still at field day, getting in tug of war, helping the kids. So it was clear it has been in his heart since August. That's the same time I started in education back in 1998. So it's good to see a fellow soldier do what he has done all the way up until the last days as he leads into retirement. He really is an example to the rest of us.
All right, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the roll?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
No.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
No.
motion carried.
All right, up next we have staff report H2. And I just want to clarify, just a quick question. Special Education Department Manager is a position we already had. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and proceed with staff report H2.
Thank you. Staff report, subject employment of staff. Date June 9th, 2026. Submitted for board consideration to approve the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Facts and analysis is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel. Policy reference 3120, 4120, employment of professional and support staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership, Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff. New hires, Isaac Ashari, certified social studies teacher at Fair Plain Middle School. Sources general funds, effective August 17th, 2026. Margarita Decina Simohig, certified teacher of math, Fair Plain Middle School. Again, general funds, August 17th, 2026. Benjamin Bermudi, certified teacher, social studies, Benton Harbor High School. General funds, August 18th. Corliss Nichols, special education department manager, central office, general funds, start date 6/15/2026. Marcus Mohammed, multi-tier systems of support, athletic director, Benton Harbor High School, general funds, July 1st, 2026. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education vote to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve staff report H2.
Support.
The motion has been made by Bowens and supported by Bradley. Questions, comments, or concerns? You have the floor.
I just have a question on the process of hiring Marcus Muhammad for athletic director. The team and who was on the team and all that good stuff.
Director Dorsey? Did you hear the question? I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay.
Dr. Griffin was on the team, Jessica McFall, Latasha Heather Thomas, Monroe, LeMay Emmerich. Who else was on the team? And Jordan Wright. There were 6 people interviewed, and there were 2 recommended for Dr. Griffin, and then she had the final selection.
So when you say there were 6 people interviewed by whom? Was anybody from the high school, was the principal? Any of those people are part of the interview
Mr.
process
Sanders was part of the interview team.
for the selection
Yes,
of the athletic director?
yes,
And you said Dr. Griffin did the final 2?
yes. The 2 that recommended by the committee.
The question that I have as it relates to the MTSS / athletic director, so this is essentially 2 different positions?
The athletic director position is not a full-time position in a school our size.
Okay.
So they'll have a regular position and a stipend for the AD part of it.
So
Stipend. You said what?
They asked for clarification regarding this, you said a stipend?
Yes,
So when did the athletic director not become a full-time position in Benton Harbor area schools? When that one of the pillars of our strategic plan, academic, athletic, and the art.
Mhm.
When did that become where an athletic director gets a stipend for being the athletic director when athletic directors work late into the night, all games, all sports? When did this change?
so if you recall, Danny Jennings, the current athletic director, has been assistant principal. He was principal at MLK for a couple of weeks. He's currently the principal of Cape as well as the athletic director. That's been going on all year.
I think, I understand, I hear my board. The athletic director prior to Mr. Jennings was a full-time position. And so Mr. Jennings was made interim, and because he had an existing position, I don't know if he was hired into both of them dually. I think we added interim to this, and then he split the 2, but prior to him becoming an interim, it was a full-time position. And so your intent is for him to essentially, so it's not, so you said it's a stipend, it's not like a part-time, or I guess, I'm sorry.
No, the configuration would be MTSS. He would work 5 hours a day at MTSS, have 2 hours to do the AD portion along with the stipend.
President Robinson,
You have the floor.
is it possible to separate the athletic director, this position from this report, like to have a separate staff report for this one?
Is there any objections from the board? She's essentially wanting to separate the consent agenda, so that there essentially would be in, I guess we could call it H4. That would include Muhammad only. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any objections from the board that we amend H2? Bowens, do you have any objection to amending your vote just to allow the separation of that? So essentially what she's saying is she wants to do that position as a separate vote and then do all the others as a consent. Doesn't impact the way that you vote at all.
Okay, yes, if you're gonna do a separate.
Bradley, do you support that? Okay, so we're essentially just disconnecting the staff report or the consent agenda of staff report H2. So it would include all listed except for Marcus Muhammad. Marcus Muhammad would be a separate vote under H4. Motion amended by Bones and Bradley per the request of Treasurer Gavin. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Oh, I was gonna say, it was a time that the athletic director, when Willie Wilson was here, I believe, because at the high school, he was also an assistant principal over the 10th graders while he was also the athletic director. So it has been where they had 2 positions, doing 2 jobs.
So what I was saying right now, so we can revisit that What I would say is if Mr. Muhammad has accepted the position with athletic director and MTSS as it stands, and that's something that he feels he's capable of doing, then I wouldn't necessarily object the merger in that manner. I would just ask that we're mindful that it's not too much, as we've stated before with the previous, that it's not too much to try to do both. And if the district finds that that position needs to be revisited and athletic director requires full-time service or full-time effort, that be a conversation brought back to the board. Did you have input? Go ahead, Boone.
Not Mayor Muhammad's, I'm sorry, Marcus
Yes.
Muhammad's position. But I do want to talk to Ms. Dorsey and your team. It feels delightful every time we come in here and we see certified teacher. And I also noticed the effort with Fairplain Junior High. So I'm just want to say thank you for your team. One of my teaching friends told me that one of the staff, she works in Grand Rapids, and she's like, Benton Harbor is aggressively trying to recruit her. And she didn't know if they knew me. But she was just telling me, they on it. Is it that good to come here? I said, come on home. So I just want to say thank you so much for doing that and looking out for certified teachers. I'm also thankful and glad to see that our special education department will be having a manager and support that is needed.
Yeah.
We have a high population of kids that receive those services. So by us making sure we have the department manager in there, we'll make sure no child is left behind. So thank you.
All right, so at this time, we'll proceed.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge Miss Nichols. She's I believe she's a former teacher. And she worked with special education students. And so I think that is great that she's back. I love her, just her personality, her love for the kids and the community. She's an alumni of Benton Harbor Schools. And so it's just really great to see her in this position.
Okay, if there's no other questions, this is concerning staff report H2 with the amendment. No, we're on H2 with the amendment of separating Marcus Muhammad. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Oh, you're thinking?
Yes, I'm thinking. So we're saying that we're just taking it from this list and voting on a separate. Okay, that's fine, yes.
So you're yes on all these people? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, up next, we'll just proceed, even though it's out of order, with staff report H4. This is essentially the same staff report, just with the separation of Marcus Muhammad. Again, as a reminder, as MTSS / athletic director for the Benton Harbor High School, being paid out of general funds starting effective July 1st, 2026. Is there a motion to approve staff report H4?
I make a motion.
Okay, so I'll take Bowens as the motion and Triplett as the support. Questions, comments, and concerns?
I have a question.
You have the floor.
My question is around the structure of the athletic department. I understand that there may be certain colleagues, I hope not a S, that has interest in outsourcing our athletic department. It's one of the most powerful departments that we have in the district. And I've noticed a move in that direction outside of just indicating an interest in it. I've seen positions, pushed through EduStaff. And now I'm hearing that you know, this position here is a part-time thing. When you're looking at growing your program, you're looking at all the needs. When you look at us needing more feeder programs, I'm just curious, what is the goal for the athletic department for Ben Harbor area schools, and how does making that a part-time position connect with the future plans? That may be a HR question or a Dr. Griffin question.
I'll speak to the portion regarding the vision, is to get us back to that nostalgic place, that great place that the athletics used to be. The vision is what it has always been, and that is for in-house that we grow and develop and cultivate physical, sports teams, in our district, where every child has the opportunity to find their passion in some way, some form, in some sport. Unlike me, who was slow in track, I still have the opportunity to try other sports, and I want that to be the case for all our students, to build the program, expand the program, get the pool ready so we can have a swim team, get the track, make sure everything is maintained that we do have, so that there are more access and more opportunities for our kids to choose among all kinds of sports. On the HR side, regarding the position being part-time, I'll yield to Ms. Dorsey to provide additional context around what that has to look like for us as a school district in the state of Michigan.
Thank you. There's no discussion that I'm aware of to move athletics to EDGE staff. The leadership will always be here. So I have not heard that.
What I'm saying is, a lot of our coaches, right, our coaches housed in-house.
That happened years ago, and most districts around the state have done that. It's been like that. I've been in 2 other districts in the last 30 years, and they did that. Both districts did. So that's been going on for quite some time here already. But there's another piece to this that's part of our budget presentation. So I don't want to share it on now because it's not approved yet. So that he'll have help. He won't be by himself as the AD, but that piece is part of the new budget.
Okay. Yeah, and I would say, yeah, I get it that these things are happening elsewhere because Project 2025 didn't start in 2025, right? And we're often the guinea pig for that. When we move those positions outside of our district, that's outsourcing our department. And when we make it part-time instead of full-time, that's another way of slowly, it's not expanding. If we have a goal to expand, then we expand the position. If you have a goal to dismantle or to make smaller, then you contract, right? So I think it's just important for us to kind of look at those things. And then also, I've said this before, anytime a person is wearing 2 and 3 hats already, that is a definition for chaos. So I think that if we are seriously looking at expanding a program, then we look at giving that person that job to do that and to focus on it. So those are my concerns. I'm also concerned, of course, about who all is interested in outsourcing it. It's one of our better programs. Thank you.
I just have one quick question and then I'll go to Secretary Triplett. So I just want to understand, with these 2 positions, is he essentially a full-time staff with salary and benefits?
Exactly.
Okay. And I would assume that being that he's here, he accepted that position that worked for him? Okay.
Based on board approval, yes.
Okay, Secretary Triplett?
I had not heard, as Treasurer Gavin said, about the outsourcing. That will never happen. Period. Unless everybody in central administration is outsourced. So that won't happen with our athletic department. That's the goal. That's where, when you look at the dismantling, you look at the attack, it attacked our instrumental and vocal music department, and it attacked our athletic program strategically. So, because those were top programs in the school district. I am so excited to have Mr. Muhammad in that role, a former Tiger. I had the opportunity to have Mr. Muhammad to work under me while here and alongside me while here at Benton Harbor High School in our Safe and Supportive Schools initiative. And he was awesome. I know for sure that he's a Tiger. And so I appreciate all of you all and what you did for this particular choice. So I'm happy. I just hope that the stipend or whatever it is enough and feasible to do. I see athletic directors 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night traveling up and down the highway to games if they're going to do the job effectively, being there and protecting our kids when they go into spaces and places that's unfamiliar to them, building our schedule, building our programs and recruiting and all those different, and if it can be done, athletic director, hopefully if this will pass, Muhammad would be the man that can lead us in that direction. Thank you.
Vice President Burns.
So, last week, I was walking the track field and it was about 7 or 8 o'clock. And then I was inspecting how they were going to do graduation. I was trying to be nosy, but I've been walking it and Mr. Triplett was actually out there walking and seeing the potential. And I also understand what my colleagues are stating. Our athletic department needs to be built up. And having a part-time athletic director is a concern, but I understand we have to do what we got to do. Mr. Muhammad, if you're watching and this vote passes, I hope that you will make us proud. And I hope that he has the tools needed to be successful. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other, you have the floor.
I just wanted to say real quick, I'm in support of this. I do believe that it's, very good that we have our former basketball coach head and working, with that and as former teacher as well, because, I think he was my coach and my teacher at one point in time back in the day. But I'm glad that we have role models that we can look up to. I'm kind of biased because he went to high school with my oldest brother, and so I kind of look at class 93 as my sibling. So I just want to say that. So thank you.
The only thing I'll add before we vote is I think that because of the other leadership areas that he works in, his former status as a coach, his college career and things of that nature, I think he'll also be amazing for potential reclaiming of athletes and students because of the relationship that he has, a strong relationship that he has to the community. So I'm excited to see the efforts that he brings to the position with his expertise in the various roles that he's worked in the district and in his other professional careers. And I just want to put it on the record, and I don't want to open it up for this conversation now, but I just wanted to be clear that I would not be opposed, and I'm hearing that from the board as well, to athletic director being a full-time position and not a merged position. So we can proceed with the vote as it is. However, if the district determines that that is something that is feasible or something that is possible in the budget, but I know I did hear you say something else comes with it, so we'll wait for that. Just putting it on the record that I would support it as a full-time position if the district went in that direction. So at this time, I'll ask for, the motion was made by Bowens and supported by Triplett to approve staff report H4 concerning Marcus Muhammad and MTSS/athletic director, Benton Harbor High School General Funds effective 7/1/2026. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson.
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
No.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
No.
Motion carried.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Mahan. Okay, so our last, I don't want to get too excited, I'm sorry. Our last vote for the evening staff report, H3.
Another staff report from.
So-
Mhm.
The Dr. Griffin has requested that we table. Is H3 is
Director of Academics.
H3 is, yeah, the Director of Academics. You're requesting the table. Okay, any objections? Secretary Triplett, I know that you suggested that amendment. Do you want to make the motion to table?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we support Dr. Griffin in her tabling of this resolution at this particular time.
Is there, the support was made, the motion was made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Gavin. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
No.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
No.
Trustee Bradley,
No.
and Trustee Doyle.
Yes. It passed.
Motion carry.
Okay. Thank you all for voting to support her recommendation for tabling. Old business, board retreat. So we have quite a bit we have to do in June. I'm thinking the soonest that we can get to our board retreat is July. I don't know if it's too soon for you all to look at your schedules. I would like, of course, not the 4th. We stand to try to do a Saturday. I'm thinking either July 11th or 18th. Does anyone have a conflict for either date on their schedule? Keeping in mind that we do have a work session. No, the work session will be the 28th. So we will have our board meeting that month is the 14th. So we can either have it the weekend before or the weekend after.
Yeah.
Any preference?
Me too.
No, I don't, your vacation gonna be right here in Benton Michigan. Go ahead. Bradley, is there a certain date that works better for you?
I can make arrangements. I was trying to take some time because I had a vacation coming up, but I can work with the job.
No preference between either date?
I would prefer the 11th.
Okay, is the 11th presenting as a conflict for anyone else?
Not at this particular time.
Okay, so we can tentatively plan our board retreat.
Actually, there is a conflict on the 11th.
Okay, you have a personal conflict?
There's some professional conflicts on the 11th between 9:30 and 1.
So we could do the.
Okay.
We all have to be there for it to count for what we're doing with our partnership.
Yeah, I was hoping that we could do a training, that we could merge one of our trainings, our first training into that date as well. And as we know before, they don't all have to be 2 or 3 hours. They can be, as long as it's something that's meaningful.
It could be after,
Can we do it the 18th?
I'm okay with one, I'm after one, you're done at
one, like it could be 1 or after.
Okay, so are you guys opposed to instead of coming first thing in the morning, we start at 1 and end a little bit later in the evening?
We've done it before.
You guys okay with that, starting at 1?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fine. I was also thinking, but I don't want to push it out too far because I know people may have other things
Okay,
to do in the afternoon.
okay, so we'll set it tentatively at 1 o'clock. Or maybe at 12, where we begin with a lunch,
Yeah.
But, well, 1.
or like a talking lunch or something. Would you be opposed to that if we just start with like a casual lunch icebreaker at 12 o'clock?
At 12,
Yeah,
12, the event is not over till 12:30.
okay, so we'll do 1.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who's going to be formulating the agenda, but can we have a governance opponent? Not opponent, but a component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Barnes has put together a framework but I think it's probably about a month or two old, or maybe about a month old, so we can revisit that.
Okay.
I don't remember right off topic what all he has on there, but we will review that. I do want to try to at least squeeze, like I said, squeeze in a training if we can.
I'm wondering the restorative practices training that the staff is gonna get, are we still gonna get that, and can that qualify as our training?
It may, Dr. Griffin, can you send me more details about that, and I can see if it's something that we can get approved? How long is that?
I'm not sure. Please give me the opportunity to follow up on it.
Okay,
Yeah, because I'm for us as well as the board.
okay.
It is something we can still do.
So we have a month out to flush out all the details. So we'll set the date tentatively July 11th at 1 p.m. For a board retreat. I just wanted to make sure that we got that ironed out.
On the 11th, right?
The 11th, yep, July 11th. Okay, I didn't have new business, because the retreat was old business. So we're technically at open public comment. Anyone here for open public comment?
Hello.
Do you need me to read the, okay.
Mm-mm. I just want to talk about three things that I sat and heard about. First, the peace comments. If those wasn't the fakest, I'm happy for peace days I ever heard in my life, Lord, please. Did not one person show up but the last two. Nobody on the board showed up for the peace walk. They have prepared for it. Didn't have no positive comments about it. And I did attend like a few little events the school been having, like the sixth grade award ceremony, the eighth grade moving ceremony. Dr. Griffin was at those places. But when it came down to that peace walk, she was not visible. So all that fake stuff because of the camera was up in here, that's what we not finna do. Badly. Please have your own thoughts, your own mind. Quit being a follower. Because on Facebook, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. With you and Dr. Griffin, Bowens. Whenever my inbox get out, I hope they see your true colors. Because this is a front. I was advised by you to report Dr. Griffin. But it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. Deshauna, please stop ignoring everything, every email. My email is gonna come out. So I'm gonna skip past you. Triplet, I got so much respect for you. I can't even not be mad at you because I know my mama gonna get me. And I know my mama gonna let me have it once I leave here.
Right. You can handle it. I can.
I can handle it. Cause I'm my mama daughter. So you know I can handle it. But I love you. So I'm gonna skip
you
you.
too.
Miss Raquette. I don't know, Miss Raquette. I think I gave you kind of a hard time enough when I was younger. And I really, really think that, and I really want to give you a hard time now. But I just think some of your old-fashioned ways need to just go out the window. All that back in 1990, I remember this, I remember that. This is 2026. 2026. It's time to talk about 2026, how this world is changing. And the second thing I want to talk about, 25, what in what account? Million? In the account? Mind y'all, I am the president of the Paris for the Union. We've been begging for money.
I want you to wrap up.
It's been 2 minutes.
You went a little long with the first point, but go ahead and finish.
Okay, let me just wrap that up. But the money, we been begging for a raise. Mind you, the Paris are the less paying employees in the district. We don't get paid during summer. Only 7 paras got picked for a summer program out of 25 paras. So of course everybody have to find a job in a way they're going to fend for their families through the summer because we do not get paid, which I'm okay because I have a degree and I could go into my field, but it ain't about me, it's about everybody else. But yeah, I know y'all don't want to hear that. And the third thing, the 29th for the evaluation of Dr. Griffin is crazy because the last meeting, it got paused because of we didn't have the proper paperwork, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. But so we did what we been doing all this time? We haven't been preparing paperwork. We haven't done nothing since the last board meeting because we pushing it to the 29th because we need evidence and paperwork. It's like an ongoing excuse. What is the issue? Why is we keep trying to fall back then the 29th when the deadline is the 30th? That's ridiculous. What is we trying to hide?
Please wrap up your comments.
Now you rushing me. We already been here all night.
For the record, I do this with everyone. It's not personal. You've been at the meetings.
No, it's feel kind of personal.
It shouldn't be.
It feels personal.
So I'm gonna ask that you wrap up.
It feels personal.
Consistent with people. Please wrap up your comment.
I'm gonna wrap it up because Madam President DeShana asked me to wrap it up. And I ain't got time to be sitting up here going back and forth with DeShana when she can't go back and read her email.
Please wrap up your comment. Thank you so much. Okay, superintendent announcements and comments.
No comments at this time, Madam President.
All right, board member announcements and comments, trustee Doyle.
I just would like to revisit the state. The kids did not have what they need for state when they went out there. They were unable to do any fun activities and the eating budget was horrible. Mr. Trippett, I just want you to know that. It did not go very well. I want to definitely thank Natalie. Natalie, I love you so much. And I hate that you're leaving us. You were the best thing that happened to this board. What else? And I want to make it known that I do not support $160,000 check for the little old bitty blacktop back there. It don't make sense. $611,000 don't make sense. What else? Thank you all for watching, and I would like to let it be known that I am a fresh start champion. I support all of it, and I'm here for it. And we need to also understand that what we're working with, the educational system, was not made for our children to thrive and grow. It was for them to learn the system. You hear the bell, you move. That's what that was about. And we need to understand that we absolutely have to think out the box and do different things so our children can have what they need. Thank you and have a good night on purpose.
Thank you. Up next, we have trustee Bradley.
Right. I'm gonna try to be succinct. I got a lot to unpack. First of all, thank you everyone for coming out to our virtual audience. Thank you for bearing with us. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Thank you for whoever decided to do a live stream, so I was able to tune in and see what was going on. I want to say this. Y'all know I take this work very, very seriously, and I've been doing some reading, and I got a handout I want to give to everybody. I know how some of you may feel about me giving out information and just saying that it's verbose, and I'm just going to toss it out because Bradley gave it. Take me out of the equation. I really want you guys to take what I hand you to heart, read it, reread it. Because the question I do want to ask is, are we really, truly looking out for the best interests of our students, or are we looking at the interests of adults? That's the question that we really need to ask ourselves. Are we really looking out for the interests of our children? Are we trying to move this district forward, or are we trying to do the same thing up here? Are we here to handle business? That's the question. Yes, we may feel a certain type of way about certain things. Yes, there may be some questions that need to be answered, but sometimes I feel like it's a lot of misplaced anger and blame going the wrong direction. The other thing I have an issue with is we need to control the people that come in here and have public comments and are bullying the board. They can't talk about bullying if they're going to be bullying us around. And I have a issue with people putting words in my mouth and twisting up what I have to say. Like I said before, I may not agree with everything Dr. Griffin does, but I support her because I want this district to move forward. I want our children to be successful academically. I want this district to succeed. I want this district to be here. I don't want to look down the road 30, 40 years from now and we don't have a district because we BS'd around at this table. And we have people up here coming in here trying to, got a family situation going on. We have a department where you can get resources to get counseling if you got family issues. And with that, the other thing I had to say, I also had a chance to attend the Mamie Yarbrough renaming dedication at our library. That was very beautiful today. Yes, it was very beautiful. And also June 11th, Get on Board Town Hall by MACB. I'm going to hand this information out. Please take it. Take me out the equation. This is just not me repeating stuff. Pay attention to pages 90, 91, 92, and 93. With that, have a good evening.
Okay, we'll go to trustee Raquel.
Yes, well, back in the day at Bard's on the field, it was a golf course. They changed it to the Tiger Woods Golf Course. That land right in front of Bard's school, the entranceway. They did a beautiful golf course right there for our kids because I remember Evan Sanders had Mr. Jones used to be our band teacher. He would come and they do the golf program with our kids. And so I know Bard has to be torn down. And so that land is still there and it's still green and it's still in a landscape way where maybe we could turn it into another golf course for our kids to do golfing. And I think that would be very nice, a very nice thing for our kids to go back and do. It was something that they used to do. The other thing is for the MTSS, I know there were a time where the student advocates or the MTSS would go actually into the classroom and work with the kids in the classroom to teach them skills on how to management skills, conflict resolution skills. So if you do it on the front end, you don't get so much of the back, the behaviors that you don't want to have, non-school behaviors. So I think if we could look at that, I'm just putting it out there because it worked. The things that we did back in the day, they work. We were able to graduate our kids. We were able to graduate our kids from college. We were able to steer our kids into profitable careers. And that's what we want our kids to be able to do even in this day. And so if we can get some training for the kids in their classroom, so when Johnny hits me, what do I do? If I'm unhappy, what are some things that I can do to tone myself, get myself back in line? Those kinds of things. And it was done weekly in every classroom, and it made a difference in the building climate. It made a difference in the classrooms, and it helped the kids to settle down so the teachers could teach. So we might want to take a look at that because it really did work. The other thing is let's take advantage of our Swahili lessons. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and that that it could be profitable. You never know. I might get a chance to go to Africa one day. Who knows? But anyway, those are kinds of things that I would like for us to take a look at. And
Trustee Raquel, please wrap up your comment. Okay.
She had it.
I'm done.
Okay. Treasurer Gavin.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for coming out, everyone who participated in Zoom and those who will watch later on YouTube. I struggle with being in a space of hope for our district, for what's possible, the enthusiasm around all of the advancements that we're making. And then also making sure that we are holding ourselves accountable for the setbacks, holding ourselves accountable for making sure that we are not moving in a space of hypocrisy, making sure that when we are in a position of power, that we are using that power in a way that is ethical, and that is not morally corrupt. And so I'm holding those two spaces, and I feel enthusiasm, but then I also feel a deep anger and disappointment, because we have the power to move our district forward. We have the power to make sure that our kids have everything that they need, that the millions of dollars that come into this district, that is invested in our staff. And people are being told that they won't have a job. People are losing their homes. People are stressed, and we have the power to make a difference. And people are being mistreated, and we have the power to do something about it. People are resigning when they don't really want to, but we are protecting power as opposed to protecting our children and pretending that it's not happening. It's very challenging for me to sit here and to be okay with that. I'm not okay with it. And sometimes people congratulate me for just like composing myself. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve congratulations for composing myself when I have a child in the district and I see us as adults and colleagues not holding people accountable who are causing harm to our children. I know what's possible, and I know that education is not hard. Slaves taught each other how to read and write. The education part is not hard. It's the power part. It's the hunger for power and the disregard for what's happening to our people, and then it's trying to chastise them for how they regulate their anger. We can do better than this. Our people deserve better than this. My child deserves better than this. Our district deserves better than this. And so I want to implore us to go back and look at the investigative documents. There's a lot of people who are not saying the details of what's happening because they expect us to do our jobs. And so we have to do that. And if we don't, that's blood on our hands. And I'm not saying that figuratively. It's literally blood on our hands, but we don't do what we're supposed to do for our kids.
Trustee Gavin, please wrap up.
I'm wrapped up. I'm done.
Okay, we'll go to Secretary Triplett next.
Yes. I would like to, first of all, congratulate the Benton Harbor High School class of 2026. You all did an amazing job. You know, there's I have all confidence in all of my colleagues in the corruption up here. Okay. And everybody got their opinion. And so I've heard that word a couple of times and tried to figure out who you're talking about and what they talking about. Because they don't need to be corrupt up here because we ain't got no money. Ain't nobody to throw you up, but you must be careful. Be careful what you hear and what people put out there that's misleading. Very misleading. Because everybody up here, we work. I can speak for myself. And just because you say it, don't mean that it's so. And you're not the only one who have an opinion, and you're not the only one that's right. Now it's okay. Everybody's beautiful as long as we in the sandbox and everybody building your cow. That ain't the way it works. We come up here and we listen to people say all kind of things off of fake narratives. And just because people don't say don't mean that they don't know. There's a protocol. There's a way. Nobody trying to hide nothing about no evaluation. There are systems and protocols that we must follow as a Board of Education. And so, again, I want to say, people rile up and saying, thank you for not going off. I'm glad ain't nobody up in here going off. Because that's not what we do. Because I know if I can sit up in here with people that I know, not what I heard, that contributed to my demise through lies, and I can sit up in here and work, anybody should be able to sit up in here and work. Everybody know what they do. Everybody know what they did. Everybody know what's going on. To the citizens of Ben Harbor and those of you all who are out there.
Secretary Triplett,
I will close.
we're wrapping up.
I'll
Thank
wrap
you.
up. Made a conscientious decision that I'm not gonna match energy. Because I haven't done anything to anybody. Everybody that got hired in here, I voted for everybody. I'm looking over at that table. I don't have anybody over here that I voted no, including the superintendent, but I'm gonna do my job. It ain't personal. So don't make it personal. I want to thank our cabinet, and I want to thank the superintendent. I want to thank our employees. Be encouraged. You do have some well thought trustees on this Board of Education. And believe me, that we are looking out for the best interest of our kids and not grown folks. Thank you for tuning in and for always supporting Ben Harbor Area Schools. And congratulations to our new athletic director, Marcus Muhammad. Thank you.
Vice President Bowles.
They call me stepping stones on the block. So you know what, like Jay-Z says it best, men lie, women lies. Numbers don't. I bring facts, some bring feelings. That's the difference we need to recognize. First, my prayers go out to the family of Ricky Dumas.
Yeah.
I could not attend Peace Day, but I was on the corner and I watched for my job. And I was shocked to see the massive orange and black. Congratulations on the class of 2026. People love a villain because villains love to make the story simple. Real life isn't that simple. Sometimes the person you're blaming is carrying the same burdens, frustrations, and scars that you are. The difference is they're still moving forward. One lesson I learned, the best way to beat a bully is not with anger, gossip, or retaliation. It is with the truth. I know what it feels like to be bullied, talked about, criticized, and targeted, even on social media. But over the time, I learned the truth has a way of exposing itself, even when intimidation tries to hide. Pay attention to the behaviors. Pay attention to the patterns. The character eventually reveals itself. The Bible tells us about the story of David and Goliath. Everyone saw a giant. Everyone saw an impossible situation. But David saw the opportunity to stand on faith and truth. He did not defeat Goliath because he was the biggest one and he was the loudest. He defeated him because he had courage. Sometimes the loudest voice in the room is not always the right voice in the room. Sometimes the giant is not a person. Sometimes the giant is division, negativity, dysfunction, or the belief that things can never get better. That's where Benton Harbor comes in. If there's one thing I know about Benton Harbor, it is grit, determination. We have been through emergency.
Vice President Bowles, please wrap up your comment.
We have been through emergency management, financial struggles, political battles, and more setbacks than more communities could ever imagine. Yet we are still here. It is an honor to be a Tiger and work as a board member as a Tiger. One thing I heard from graduation was from Kiara Lewis when she said, I never wanted to be a St. Joe Bear. Being a Bering Springs Clover has never crossed her mind. Let that be a reminder that your potential is not limited by your environment. Those were some powerful words that I heard at graduation, and I'm wrapping my comment up. You want one today? Like David said, we may not always be, like David, we may not always be the biggest. We may not always be the loudest, but with truth, faith, and determination, we can overcome any giant And Madam President, I would like for us to have the attorney review the revised school code on public comment because I do have a concern that I believe we are being bullied and harassed. Thank you.
Thank you. I will keep my comment very short and brief. When I am at this table doing my elected role as a trustee and my appointed / elected position as governed by this Board of Education, my name is President Robinson. I am always very respectful to everyone when it comes to the way that the business of this district is conducted. I never call anyone by their first name in any way that I am interacting with you at all. And so I never have any issue with people speaking freely as they need to, but I would just ask that when I'm addressed at this board table, my name is President Robinson. Lastly, I want to make it clear, my effort and my work that I do for this Board of Education, I have been the board president for a period of now 6 years. I've been on the board for 7 years. I am the longest standing president in Benton Harbor Area Schools history. The amount of effort that I give above and beyond and behind the scenes that is not witnessed at this table or any event that I'm able to attend, I'll never be able to calculate the hours that I've given, whether it's in work at this table via emails and communications or listening to the concerns of my trustees. After board meetings, they get out at 10 o'clock and I'm on the phone with people until 11, 12 o'clock at night. There's a lot of work that you all don't see. I also have to do a job working for an agency that is in the process of trying to redevelop for 250 properties for the city of Benton Harbor. So if you do not see me at an event during the day, it does not mean I do not support Benton Harbor Area Schools. I go above and beyond and have done much work for Benton Harbor Area Schools. And I'm also doing it for the city of Benton Harbor and trying to ensure that we have quality and affordable, safe housing in the city. So I just want to put that on the record. My absence as an event does not mean that I do not do work or give the labor. So with that, if there's any other clarifications that people have about what I give to the district and what I do outside of district work, feel free to reach out to me and ask me that. Otherwise, I'll ask if there is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by, I believe I heard Bradley first. Any questions, comments, and concerns? Hearing none. Secretary Triplett.